Bud.
I'm getting there. No, man, out. I had to make it work, you know.
Do what you gotta do. You are an odd man.
Lippies.
Does that even count?
It does. I usually chew coke.
Debatable.
But I'm trying to not be a complete degenerate.
I'd say if you went to 10 people and said, "Do those count?"
They'd probably say
nine
no.
would say no.
They would probably say no, but I feel better about myself though because I'm not chewing coke now.
Because he's not doing coke now. Is that what I heard?
That's what I thought.
It's
I
been
heard.
a few years.
Must be the microphone.
It must be. There's probably cocaine on this microphone somewhere. It's what I used to use a lot. Just kidding.
So it hasn't been that long. All right.
Microphone looks brand new, bud.
I take care of my gear.
What can you say?
All right, boys and squirrels. So we are back again live. We're a little less unorganized here. We got the table set up. We actually got some gear. Got the deck. And this is officially episode 2, and we got our first guest. We are live with Ryan, Chaz, and our guest.
You don't know my name?
No, they don't know your
Joe
name.
Hedland.
Chuckie's little brother.
Yep.
I bought him that vest. It's a nice vest, ain't it?
It is
It's
a
a
nice
very nice
vest. It's strong.
It's very stylish.
Strong.
It accents
vest.
your little beard very nicely.
I just trimmed this today.
Mini
I didn't
beard.
trim the beard. I trimmed it.
It's like
Either way,
mini
doesn't
beers, but mini beard.
matter. It starts.
And here we
Here
go.
we go. We just have to keep Ryan from sniffling the whole time because I had to edit a lot of sniffles out last episode.
Oh, I apologize.
And after about an hour going through that and editing that last one, I just quit. So the last hour of our last episode is unedited.
Well, I'm
Just so you
finally
know.
warming up now, so I should be good.
Glorious.
Yeah.
I know the last one we just slowly got obliterated, and I said hey, we should probably take it a little easy. We just did a shot of tequila, and then we got some zesty boys in here, and then I got a mug of this and that, and
Yeah.
Shot wasn't bad, but the drink is
it was rough, dude. That was rough riding.
it's
Right
gonna
there.
wreck my night.
Pour something in there. Like we can pour some Canada Dry in there or something.
Mountain
I wouldn't
Dew.
mind
Actually,
that.
Mountain Dew would be pretty good in there. I bet.
Mountain
Not
Dew.
diet. We're not doing diet.
Dew.
I got diet ginger ale or I got just bold.
I love diet.
So since our
Anyways.
last episode, we did our season recap, and the reason we wanted to get Joe on here for the second episode is the dude had a mammoth year, and by mammoth I'm talking about this big chungus right here.
Is this the first episode with horn on the table? What?
It
Yeah.
could be.
What are we doing?
It got real quick.
Yeah.
Episode
We're just
2 it got
jumping
real.
in. We're just gonna jump right
We
into
might.
it.
I mean, we might as well. So I mean, we brought you on here to talk about it. So I mean, I want to hear about it again.
Yeah. Well, I figured it'd give you a visual.
To those watching, yes. If you're
Yes.
not watching, you should be watching.
So you
Check
want me to
out the
recap the whole
YouTubes.
season, or what's
I mean, dude,
What
how
do you
many
want me to
tags
go
did
at
you
it?
fill altogether?
six
in
tags?
PA, or is that like
PA. All
just PA? That's insane. That's absolutely
D
insane.
maps, 2 1As, and 2D. 2D maps.
We won't
So,
say where this
yeah.
was taken from, obviously.
Obviously, we
Monroeville.
keep that a little bit.
Was it
You
Monroeville?
just said it.
I thought it was Monroeville.
Behind the Fox Hill apartment complex. Actually, back there. There might be something like that.
Didn't you shoot it out of the incline while you were riding up Pittsburgh?
Is that what it was? That's not
It's
Monroeville.
like a 300-yard shot with a recurve.
I had a tree I climbed last year. I shot Big Jimmy out of. I call it the recliner because it was sitting like this, and you just sat back real nice. Having
Can't
hunted
beat
it
that. You got to
since.
be comfy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You got that pretty, dude, early. It was October, wasn't
first week.
We'll
Yeah.
go from the beginning. Start from what'd you do to prepare for this season?
Yeah, that's what I planned on. So my buddy McCoy and we went out on, I think it was about 2 weeks before the season. It was just kind of late for me. I wanted to get out way earlier, but there was a lot going on. Finally, I'm like, dude, just get your side-by-side. We're going to go up, set up some cameras. I want to set up like 4 or 5. So we go up, and I had some areas in mind, like this stand where I got him. I wanted to set up a camera there. And then just some other areas just to peek. There was a little bit from spring turkey that I saw this spot. Well, me and McCoy saw this spot, and we're just like, man, this is hammered. We got to come back here. So we set up a camera there. So we're going up the hill with the quad, and he
This
had
is private land, right?
Yes.
It's all private land, yeah.
and he had to saw down this down tree. So as he's doing that, I'm like, all right, dude, well, I'm going to go over here because there's always a nice, like, big tracks. Like, you know, you think it would be a buck trail. You know, I'm like, there's big tracks. There's always big turds on it. There's always rubs. It's like there's always something, a big or bigger body deer coming through this area, which is probably a buck, you know. So I go over there and I'm looking around and I see this scrape, dude. It's like, I could probably park my truck on it. It was humongous. Probably the biggest scrape I've ever seen in my life. Probably about the size of this picnic table, no joke. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to set up a camera on this while he's cutting down that tree. So I did that. We went over to my stand, set up a camera there. On the way down the hill, set up a camera where I shot Big Jimmy last year. And then we set one up in that spring turkey spot. So first day came around, went up the mountains, and I set up a stand up there day before. I was super loud. It was the first time using the sticks, the mobile sticks.
Oh,
and,
yeah, that's right. You had
Those in your sticks.
yeah, he had the Lone Wolf, original Lone Wolf sticks, climbing sticks, full size.
Yeah. Which they kind of, they hurt me a little bit this year. The one time I was climbing that tree, I set them up, and the tree, like, it was like, it kind of bumped out. So when I set it up, as soon as I stepped on it, had my hand on it, it went down and my hand got stuck in between it and the tree, and I had all my body weight on there. And I'm like, what do I do now?
At that point, you can't do nothing.
So I went like,
where are you gonna go?
I didn't go panic mode. I was like, calm down, it's just pain. And I just like leaned my body back and pulled my hand out somehow. It was miserable.
That's incredible.
Yeah, when you put those on, I always took the top step and the middle step in both hands, and I literally pulled down and put all my weight on it and pull them down as far as you can. That way it really locks them into the tree before you even step on them.
Yeah, I didn't use them too much. That was probably like, I probably took them out about 3 times every time I climbed that stand. So I set up an area where I shot my my mountain bruiser last year, and
I didn't realize you got that deer with the mountains. I thought you got that on the same or that was a year before you shot.
no, last year I shot Big Jimmy on the same property as this guy, and we never covered him. 3 miles track, blah blah blah. Disaster. So
Wherever you got that unicorn
Easy,
that's
boy.
lodged up your butt, please just let me know so I can also get an enema of unicorn magic.
I have to talk to Russ Hedland about that one.
I don't want to talk to him.
He might he might have to insert it into you.
Oh dear.
I think I wore his lucky hat when
Was it
when I was
painful?
like 12. And
Is that officially an enema? A horseshoe enema?
That might be like a Lucky Charm
Can you look
hat.
that up?
so I set up the stand, and next morning I was going to hunt that stand. So next morning I come out, climb up her. Around 9 o'clock or so, I see some deer drifting through. I'm like, all right, cool. So here comes the first doe comes walking towards me, and the second one was nowhere to be found. And it stopped at like 6 yards right underneath me. I'm like, I'm just, what am I going to do? You know? Like, it's right there. I could make this shot. So I plugged it, man. And I was using these new broadheads. They're called Kill Zone, which not a big fan. They worked out. I was 5 for 5, you know, but it just, everything was deflecting. It was almost like a Rage, but just a different company.
Yeah.
The blades were cheap, for sure,
Yeah,
on them. I mean,
definitely cheap blades.
when they worked and you put them where they're supposed to go, they left gaping holes, like a
Yeah.
2-blade, and it would just leave.
I think some of the deer I shot, I was like, man, if I would have shot that deer with a different broadhead, I don't think I would have killed it. I'm saying a different broadhead with that much penetration, yeah. Because even with little penetration, there was such a wide cutting diameter that it it destroyed whatever it touched.
Oh, for sure.
So, smacked down that doe first day. The next Friday, I was going after work, straight from work. I'm going out.
And this is still the first week, right?
Yeah. So before I get into this, I'll get on a little bit of a rant on how crazy just things happen. So years back, probably about 6 years ago, I had missed this monster, dude. Just super tall. It was a super windy night. Didn't think I was gonna see anything. Very last light, this monster just come in the same property. Came in actually from where that big scrape was.
Yeah.
Came right off of that. Came down.
So,
I pulled up my binocs.
The land you're hunting there is kind of like farm on the top of this hill.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
ag.
surrounded by
Yeah.
like pretty thick hardwood, like all the way around. It's like
There's a lot of good thick areas. I
Heaven.
mean, especially those hillsides
these
are just
spicy.
they're horrifyingly thick.
Spicy.
The main woods, like there's a couple different oak ridges that are pretty open, and there's one hillside that's got a whole bunch of pines on it, which they hold up in there pretty often. But those hillsides, especially right now, like I just got pictures of 2 bucks that we were hoping would survive, that will be giant shooters the
That
next
one
year.
mean you saw that one day, dude, he's gonna be a nice one next year.
Well, these ones are
Nice one.
bigger than him.
Yeah.
Is that the one you sent today?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that deer
he's-
doesn't look big, but I sent those other pictures, and you get an idea.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There's a lot going on with that one.
Yeah, he's got 11 points.
Talking about Cupine.
We named him Cupine because he just got a whole bunch of short little points.
Yeah.
I named this one.
Yeah.
Did you?
I named it.
He named it, but I named him too. We'll get to that.
I named him.
So, about 7 years back, it was, I had like one wall hanger under my belt, killed an 8-point the next year, and then, so, windy night, come in, put the binocs up, last light, I just see just tall. That's all I see is tall. I'm like, oh my God, biggest deer I've ever seen in my life. It's coming in, and I'm working off of 2 hours sleep, just got off a night turn, slept like 2 hours when hunting. So I'm a little bit like
Here comes the excuses.
delirious.
Insert
No.
excuse here.
I'm a little delirious. So buck come in.
I will back him
I
up.
stopped
First
him.
light on little sleep. That's when the sun first comes up. That's the worst. If
Yeah.
you're on little sleep,
No, it was nighttime.
even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was up even longer. So he comes in, I whiff. I still don't know where I aimed. You know, what yardage I aimed at, because there was 2 trails, and I thought he's on one, but he's on the other. I don't know what I did. Whiffed. He was probably 30 yards. Whiffed. Never done that in my life. So I'm outraged. The next morning, dude, without even setting an alarm, I wake up. Perfect timing to go hunting. I have buck fever now. Even though I'm very upset with what just happened the night before, I turn that into motivation
Oh, for sure.
or determination. And
for sure, dude.
I went out, dude, and I'm like, I gotta go to that same property, but I can't hunt that same spot. I'll hunt a different spot that I killed my wall hanger 2 years prior to that. So I hunt that spot around 9 o'clock. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna look over here. Usually, turkey comes in next week, and there was some turkey over here around 9 to one day. So I look back, turn back around, there's a buck just standing there. I'm like, shit, he sees me. And I'm in a pine tree. I'm like, how do you see me? But as soon as he sees me, he dips off the trail. The trail actually lips back around to me. So he probably was just gonna go back there, check out his scrape, come back around right to me. But I freaked out. I went mentally distressed, just freaking out, I gotta shoot this deer right now. And I was like, oh, he's around 55 yards or so, and that, I was young, and that was my limit was 55. So I figured him a little bit over 55, pulled back, stopped him before he got in that little lip, and I just let one launch. I range find it at 68 yards, and I go, what is wrong with you, dude? Now I'm kicking myself. I just missed the biggest buck of my life the night before. And then I missed this, decent 8-point is what I thought it was. I just thought it was a rack buck. I was like, I'm never going to see another buck the rest of the season, whatever. I shot, I was young, dumb, whatever. Took the shot, range at 68 yards. And I go down just flustered, like kicking myself in the ass. I get over, try to find my arrow. My Luminoc, nocturnal, flew off into the weeds.
Oh my god.
So I'm looking around everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck? So I look, I see blood. I'm like, you piece of shit. Now you wounded a deer and missed the biggest deer of your life last night. Now I'm kicking myself even harder. So long story short, we tracked this thing for about 2 miles, dude. And it was pretty steady little sprinkles for about 2 miles.
Yeah.
Never once did you go like, where'd he go?
Yeah.
And on that track job, we ended up finding a deer. Beautiful 12 point. And on that track job, I passed this area where it was an apple tree hanging over a cornfield. Okay? And I'm like, this is perfect.
I know where that's at.
Let's take a step back here. You realize the deer was so far away. It was a giant 12 point. And he thought it was a racked 8 point. That's how far away the deer was.
It wasn't a giant 12 point. It was a nice.
That's a nice,
beautiful 12
That
point.
is a giant for PA.
Even if it's like borderline basket rack, if it's a 12-point PA, that's probably a nice deer.
He was
Dude,
70
it's
yards away. Okay.
Really nice deer. It's got
It was quick
character.
thinking.
It's got
Okay.
stickers. I mean, that is a beautiful
So,
buck.
what I'm trying to get to like a point here. So
Horseshoe enema. I mean, that's pretty much the
we
moral of what I'm
I
getting
walked
right now.
past this apple tree hanging over a cornfield, and it was a scrape. And this deer was hitting up all of his scrapes. He passed a tree I was hunting the night before by this much. He passed my brother's buck tree by this much, and then he passed my dad's buck tree that he calls it for
The one
about
we hunted
15
out of.
yards.
Oh, the freaking
15 yards
the
he
white
passed
The
tower,
death
that.
tree.
the white
So
tower,
he passed like all of our tree stands on that
I
property.
like that.
the ivory tower.
So I'm like, dude, I got to get in this apple tree. So 2 years passed, and one day I was just like, everybody was hunting our stands up there, and I'm like, where am I going to go where I have the best success? And I'm like, it just popped up in my head. It took me an hour and a half to get up that hill. I had a crappy
Deer cart.
deer cart, those little ones, the little wheels.
oh dear.
I had everything on it, dude. Like, I had my ladder stand on it. I had change of clothes. I had my bow strapped over my shoulder. I was going up there and not coming back. And I went up there, set it all up, changed my clothes down to my underwear. And that night,
What is it with you headlands going in the frickin' underwear? He hiked in
Dude,
that
I
one
was
day in
sweaty.
the no, like straight up long john.
Those
That's it.
were base layers, and they were merino wool.
They were long.
It
And
was-
I said halfway, and I didn't even notice it. And I was like, "Are you wearing your freaking underwear right now?" He had like all of his harness stuff on. He was like, all like
Dude, we had a
This is weird.
2 mile walk straight
I was like,
uphill.
"You wearing your underwear?"
it was an hour and a half of that cart tipping over and me picking everything up every time you hit a stick this big. Okay? It was miserable. It was the worst time of my life.
It's incredible.
Set up, and then I set up the stand and knocked down shooting lanes. So that night, I ended up shooting my 2017 buck, which was, what was it, 132 we measured him. Beautiful buck.
I don't remember.
The 10,
132. That's
It was Pope
Young.
and Young. I mean,
Yeah,
it was.
I think it was
it
one-
was gross. 130 something. I
God,
really
I
don't
missed
know.
my microphone. Hang on.
It's yeah. It's probably not net.
Actually, it wasn't as close as I thought.
But still, who cares? Nets are for fishes.
I mean, dude, when you get over 120 anyway, I mean, that's a nice.
So-
buck.
Yeah.
full circle, if I would have killed that monster buck that night, I would have never shot that 12. I would have never found that spot, most likely. I would have never had that 132 and this monster. Okay? So that's full circle
Kickstand.
for you, how things just happen like crazy.
Oh, for sure, dude.
And you could say that about any of my deer. Like, every single one of my deer on the wall, it's like, something pulled me out in the woods that night, you know? I've said it before on his podcast. Like, something just pulled me out, and like, it's just like the desire, the dedication, and it's just the will to give it your all.
Well, I
that-
mean, dude, that's the difference between getting something like this and shooting the first bone you see in rifle season. I mean, that's
Exactly.
I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like,
Which,
I didn't
teach
get
their own, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't get a buck this year, but you know what I mean. It's not about that. It's not about
Mm-hmm.
going out and shooting the first thing you see. I mean, if you're out there grinding, you know what I mean. That's when you're gonna get real.
I think I was
results.
just telling Charles this year, I was like, for how much he grinds, it's just a matter of time.
Oh,
Oh, absolutely.
100%, dude.
Absolutely.
100%. I mean, that's the only reason I got big balls last year. Mm-hmm. It's literally the only reason. I mean, I was out in like the worst conditions ever. It was 80 degrees and sunny.
Yeah, I was gonna
You had a
say you
target
brought.
buck. Was that your first
First
archery season?
buck, yeah. First archery buck.
Was that your first year with archery?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 So you had a target buck and you laid it down.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
can't,
I
you can't do
blacked
anything
out
better than
for,
that.
a minute before and after that because that's what I do. But, that is
I
literally
remember
the
that phone call.
Yeah.
I think everybody does.
Yeah, I was at work in the back room bullshitting with the guys, and I got a phone call. I was like, I have to take this. Oh, man, you were so scatterbrained. You had no details, nothing. You're just like, I shot a buck.
I was like, I don't know what I did, but I did it.
I remember the night he shot that big one. I was like, I'll leave work right now. Please just let me leave work. Please don't find the deer yet.
Jeff was taking his son to the doctor's, and I called him, and he's like, I'll be there in a minute. So he like threw his kid calling out the window like, as he was driving by the house. That was,
We ain't stopping,
Slept
kid.
in at the doctor's.
Jump out.
yeah, pretty much.
Tuck and roll. That's what good friends are for.
That
or
is,
family.
I mean, that,
Absolutely.
I mean, at the time, I mean, you like weren't like super close friends, but like I mean, everybody here got a phone call like immediately. I mean, the same thing when you got something, or
Yeah.
like when you were in Colorado, like
Yeah.
it's like you better tell me what happened right now.
I think you were the first person I called. I'm like, dude, it happened. It happened. We got one.
you better tell me right now.
I was waiting for the Snapchat. I was just like, it's a matter of time. Like, I
You don't
kept
send me a
seeing
picture
stuff, and I
before
was
you
like,
send
it's
it to
getting
me, I'm
hot.
gonna kill you.
That did get hot and heated.
For sure.
So, anyways, we're 2017. You killed that big old buck from that tree stand.
Same one, yeah.
Yeah, from that stand overlooking the corn. That was after I think somebody at this table helped you move that stand to that tree, right? I picked that tree out.
That was the next year we moved the stand.
Yes.
Because that night I went in there and I was like, man, there's not a good tree in here for a ladder.
Yeah, you got lucky
So
on
I
that
gotta
other
go.
one because he came into the woods, right? Or no, he didn't. He stayed like right on the edge.
It would have been good either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came out 13 yards.
What's spicy about that spot you're in right now is kind of looking down at that corner. When there's no leaves on those trees, I mean, you can see the other side of that field forever. Like, I mean, you're kind of in like a sweet little pocket right there.
Yeah.
Like super sweet, actually.
And it's funny because I was looking at that tree stand. I'm like, man, without leaves on it, it's kind of bare. But then I hunted it the one day and I realized when you're standing in the stand, there's actually another tree just off to your side that covers your
Yeah, that real
outline.
low one
So
there,
if
yeah.
they come in from the same direction this one came in from, they can't pick your outline out because there's actually a tree directly behind him that's going to break out that pattern.
The crazy thing is, too, like if you handed me like the map and told me to pick out 3 spots, that would have been not anywhere close to anything I'd pick out. Like looking at like the lay of the land and stuff like that. It's just like such a hardcore transition spot. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you said, you would have never found it if you weren't, doing A, B,
It's
and
funny
C.
because even as a kid hunting that spot, we used to hunt around that field, but we never really got into that area because those trees hadn't really grown up and to be matured to get a stand in. And I remember at my young age, I'd see those bucks just cruise that top because the field kind of peaks out there, and they run like just off that top edge. And they go straight to where his stand is. I mean, they used to do it year after year.
Field is like for a a cornfield in Western PA. That field is huge.
That's a very big field.
It is
It is
big.
massive. I mean, it's not something like to get that one spot pinpointed on an area that big is like kind of wild, actually. to be
Yeah,
honest.
we've killed a lot of good bucks off that field.
I don't know how you're still drinking that, dude.
It's
Every time you
starting
take
to
a
settle
sip,
in. Yeah.
Rough Riders anthem.
Every
I
time
think it was too much lime.
every time you take a sip, it's just the reaction. I just can't stop
cringe.
watching.
We need to get that heater under this picnic table
Yeah.
for my feet.
Yeah, but that area, I mean, 2 years back, it was killing me because there was a branch like right out in front of me, the tree in front of me, and it was blocking that field because the field kind of like goes upwards.
Yeah.
So this branch was like 20 feet up, and I had deer like 30 yards. I couldn't shoot him because this branch was in the way. Luckily, I somehow got
Luckily.
my.
That was a word just made
Luckfully.
up. Luckfully.
Can we add that to our dictionary?
I think he meant
Luckily.
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 Luckily and
You have
thankfully.
to say luckily now. From now on, you have to say it.
Now I'm wondering how many times I've said that in my life.
You dug your own grave, sleep in it.
It's like luckily and
So I had a
thankfully in
pole
one.
saw, and I'm standing. I couldn't get it from the ground, so I was standing up on my stand with the pole saw, getting around the tree, cutting it to get that limb down. And once I did, it was just so
Oh, my
beautiful.
goodness.
So we'll get to the day. We'll just get it over with.
So here we are,
Friday.
2020,
First Friday of the season.
2020 fall.
It's like October, I'm going to guess 5th.
5th was the first
Fourth.
Saturday because that's when we did my
4th.
doggy birthday.
Yeah,
that
because the
Friday?
29th was the first day.
Yeah.
So October 4th,
Why are you saying October 4th?
because that's the Friday. Started September 29th this year, right? Or was it 27th?
Doesn't matter.
Man, either way, it's
I
the first
thought, well,
Friday of
for
the
around
season. When
here,
did
I thought
season
it, or is
start?
that
2B
yeah.
starts in September 27th.
So yeah, that
No, 2B was September 19th.
oh, I don't think we started in September.
The date is relevant.
Yes, we
Anywho.
did.
So
Early October.
first
We
time
started-
touching that property,
This is pre-rut. Major pre-rut.
first week.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not
Maybe
even
it was
close.
October 3rd was first day.
Yeah, it's
You get
always
stuck
we
on the
never
little
do
points,
it
Because it was
27.
2 weeks
doesn't
earlier as
matter.
2B. Yeah, so October 3rd, so the first Friday is October 9th. And continue.
So
Fact
Told ya.
checker.
Well, I was hunting in
I'm
September.
going up the hill.
Well.
I pick up 2 cards going up. The one by the big scrape and the one down at the bottom. And then I pick up the card right next to my stand.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
I'm breathing. I'm a mouth breather now.
they were this new stealth cam, and they have like their own cards, like a stealth cam card. So my card reader would only read 1 out of 3, and it was driving me nuts because I had like 52 pictures on the one down the hill. I had 270 by that big scrape, and then I had 462 right by my stand, right in front of me. Okay? And the only one I could look at was the big scrape one. That's the only one that would check. So I'm looking through it, and I'm like, all right, decent buck. Oh, another nice up and comer, you know. Oh, that one's pretty nice. Might, you know, later in the season might think about it. And all of a sudden I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Good googly moogly.
What the fuck is that?
I believe it was
And the
great
thing
Wiggly
is-
Wiggly.
Yeah, that's it.
The pictures I was looking at did it
Luckily,
no
it was a deer
no
headlight.
justice at all. And I just start Snapchatting people. I'm just like, boom, send it to Charles, send it to McCoy. You know, I probably
You sent it to me.
I
yeah.
sent you it.
Yeah, you sent it to me.
And I don't even know if we were friends on Snapchat at the time. We might not
I'll
have
send it
been.
to me anyway somehow.
I'm sending it to everybody. I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. Like, what is going on?
The thing
So
you're not
now-
supposed to do until the deer's dead.
Exactly.
Luckily, continue.
Now this just became a reality. Like, this is a possibility that this deer,
Wait, is it a reality or a possibility? You just contradicted yourself. Start
that this deer could just walk by.
calling you Webster.
I'm not
Any-
good with words.
I may not be a smart man, but at least I know how to kill a deer.
I got my PhD in deer stuff.
So I'm just like, it's crazy. Like, this is actually real. This is something that could walk past me at any time now. And I'm just in shock. And it was a real hot day. And it starts cooling down a little bit of chill in there. And I'm texting McCoy. I'm like, hey, dude, if I get lucky tonight, can you come up with the side-by-side? It helped me out greatly. So sitting there, and I'm like, dude, I gotta go. It's starting to get this little bit of chill in there. I feel like it's gonna get like hot real quick. And as soon as I stop texting him, about 25 minutes later, maybe, I look to the right and there's a deer just standing there. I'm like, cool, there's a little doe. So all right, cool. I'm looking at it. It's standing on some thick stuff. I'm like, I'll wait for it to move around. I don't think I'll be able to get a shot. And all of a sudden, it gives me this little gap. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. 37 yards? I can do that. Smacked her down. She went like 50 yards, fell down on her face. I could see her. And I'm like, all right, text McCoy. And I don't even know why. I'm just a killer. You know, I'll kill anything. But why would you do that with a buck on your camera like that? Stupid. So I text him like, you better load up the quad, He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. So about 45 minutes pass. There was there was probably I think it was 8 minutes left of shooting time. And I look up and I see this buck standing in the field. I'm like, holy shit, this just got real. And I'm like, that's probably him. In my head, that's him. I pull up the binocs and I'm like, damn, it's not him. It was like this. It was Cupine. Mm-hmm. That's who it was. It was 11 point, matching split. Matching.
G3.
He had a split G3. He had 2 G3s. It was wild.
Yeah, it's not
Side
like
by
the
side.
G3 came up and split.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's a stacked. I think the
Yeah.
proper would be stacked G3. There's 2 of them. They come off like a V.
Yeah,
on
they
his
come off
antler.
like this. We have a deer
Yeah.
here to
So
tell you.
they're technically
like this.
2 of them. Like it's inside the other point. It's badass. Yeah, it's like this coming off the.
And he has
antlers.
crab claws, matching crab claws. Like he was just.
Really cool deer.
He had so many points. Like he was like a Christmas tree, but he just wasn't very tall. And his frame just wasn't there yet. I'm just like, we're doing this tournament. Like any other year, I don't think I would shoot him first week. It's just like he's a really cool buck. And it was hard. It was hard passing him. But I was just like, man, first week, I don't know, man. He's just not tall enough. He's
Well, especially
real
after
short.
seeing what you saw on your camera.
Exactly. I had that in the back of my mind.
How do you justify taking that and not giving the other one a chance?
So I start filming him, I'm trying to stay quiet. I'm filming him. Goes by 30 yards. All right, cool. All of a sudden I look up. There's another buck there. I'm like, put that phone away. What is going on? I'm like, that might be him. So I pull up the binocs. And this is why cameras are so great. I didn't have to identify anything at all. Low lighting, there was probably 5 minutes left at this point. Okay. Low lighting. I saw his split brows. I'm like, that's him. Put down my binocs. Done, done. And he's standing there, and it was so intimidating, I'll say. He's just standing there. Like he's just the king of the world. 45 yards. There was something on the ground there, like a cloth or something in the field, in the bean field. And he's sniffing it, hanging out, broadside, 45 yards. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, should I just shoot now? I don't want anything wrong happening here. My wind's good, everything's good, but I don't have a whole lot of time. I got 5 minutes at this point. I'm like, dude, I'm just going to take the shot here. So I'm thinking, I just got this, what's that?
HHA.
HHA.
The optimizer.
Yeah, I just got an
Kingpin,
HHA this
maybe?
year, which I love because
Tetra?
He might.
I
have
shot
Tetra,
with
I
a
don't know.
single pin 25 for years and years and years until 2017. And finally, and then I switched to a 5 pin, which I hated. So I got this HHA, and I'm like, I won't touch it unless a deer's just feeding. And then I'll screw with it, But I'm comfortable shooting out to 45 with a 25 pin. So I'm trying to I'm thinking should I mess with it? And I'm looking, I'm like, low lighting. And I'm freaking out, dude. I'm shaking. I wouldn't be able to get it on there in the first place. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Screw that. I'm just gonna shoot with a 25 pin. I'm super comfortable. I got to get my release on. I'm like, dude, I had to tell myself to calm down. It was real. I've shot big deer, and I've never done that. With a point where I can't even get it on. So I get it on there. I'm like, all right, cool. 45 yards, broadside. Pull back. And I'm standing there. And as soon as I get to full draw, he tucks his head, starts walking right towards me. I'm like, oh my God. How long is this going to last? I'm not going to have this bow pulled back for 2 minutes to try taking a shot on the biggest buck of my life.
Oh, for sure.
So, luckily, he turned his head backwards, and I let down as gracefully as possible. And he starts walking through. He starts broadsiding around 30. I'm like, I think that's 30 right there. And I start pulling back, turns towards me again. I'm like, shit. I let back down. So then he starts coming through. I'm like, okay, I got this tree out in front of me. And as soon as his head gets behind there, I'll pull back. I'll have him inside 25. I aim right on the heart. But I don't have much time because there's this apple tree. And after the apple tree, I don't have him anymore. He's gone
It's
forever.
pretty much done.
Yeah.
You're done after the apple tree.
So,
Especially in low
Which
lighting.
we're going to clear that up next year because you need to be able to shoot to the other side of that tree. And when I was in there, I noticed there's some limbs in the way we could easily cut down, but we'll do that this year.
there used to be a little bit of a lane, but it
Overgrown,
disappeared.
yeah.
So his head gets behind that tree. I pull back, come to full draw, and I go to meep him once. Didn't stop. Meeped him the second time, dude. I'm telling you.
How was your first meep?
I was like, meh.
I've been there. The first one comes out like,
So
stop.
my problem is I'm like when I get psyched up I get too aggressive with it.
You're
I hit him
like,
with a,
Oh, you
hit him with a foghorn one time.
I've been watching and like seeing people like whistle or do like a,
Yeah.
and it works. But like I'm feeling like if I'm in there, how the
Yeah.
fuck do you whistle?
Yeah.
You know, so it's always just a
They just got to be out here and then talk.
Yeah, I don't like that because then you're moving. But anyways, you meeped them.
I go, meh. And I go, meh. Stops. Perfect. And as soon as he goes, dude, he didn't even pick his head up yet. I was on the heart already. Boom. Slam one loose.
Yes.
He goes running off, dude, and so much arrow sticking out of him. I'm like, what the fuck did you just do? Dude, it was highs to highs, lows to lows, just like that. And I'm just like, dude, I'm never going to find that deer. Never going to find that deer. And the arrow, I just see it flop around in the fucking wind.
That
And
sucks.
he's
Yeah,
bounding
I
off
know that
like,
feeling. It is
like
not
nothing
good.
happened.
Yeah.
You know, he's just bounding off like it's just another stroll in the park. And I lose sight of him, and that was it. And I'm just like, I told myself right then and there, I'm like, I don't care how long it takes. This whole season is going to be, I'm going to be chasing that buck. Like, what's that show where he chases that 190 around Kansas?
Oh, whitetail adrenaline.
Whitetail Adrenaline.
Yeah, it takes some like
I was on Whitetail Adrenaline's ass.
Weeks.
Okay, I was gonna go after that deer for the rest of my season and try finding them. I'm just like dead. So I text everybody. I already named them. I named them Splits. You know, like 3 hours earlier, I named them Splits.
real original.
Sorry, that name was probably taken by somebody else.
You guys never named a deer before. Give them a break.
We actually named the deer that I shot.
I shot
yeah,
2 named deer
Splits.
last year. Okay, I killed Mr. Big, and I shot Jimmy, which Jimmy's dead. Big
The
Jimmy's
Mr.
dead.
Big thing's debatable. Jimmy definitely was Jimmy.
We'll
Mr.
get
Big-
back.
It's a really good band.
Yeah.
Great band, I might add.
So, rest of my season, I'm chasing after this deer. I don't care what happens. So, I get down. McCoy comes out. We drive up and grab my doe, throw her on, drive around. I'm like, all right, this is where I shot him. We'll start tracking him. We'll get to the field edge. If blood isn't crazy, we're backing out and come back tomorrow. And it was so hard tracking him in that field. It was like spot, lost him.
It's so
Spot,
wide open. There's like nothing for it to
lost
like
him.
drop on
Yeah.
the contrast.
Especially
against.
cut
Yeah,
beans.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
They were already cut, right?
There's like no leaves.
Freshly
nothing.
cut beans, yeah.
Yeah, they were already cut. That's what we talked about
Yeah.
last night.
Yeah, they cut them
Beans
really,
were cut
really
like
early.
before the season. It's crazy. It's never like that.
Yeah, and somebody was like, yeah, fresh cut beans aren't really a great food source for them.
And then what did I say? You just took me. You just trumped
And I
me.
was like, yeah, well,
you
there's
just
apple.
trumped me. You took me out of context. You didn't finish my. You didn't even finish my sentence. I said, well, if there's apples on that tree, definitely hunt it.
Well, luckily,
So
synced it.
I
Episode
told
2.
McCoy, I'm like, all right,
Luckily.
dude, well, my one flashlight's dying. You didn't bring one for some reason. I'm going to take this good flashlight. You
Poor
just
bastard, you
stay
said.
on the blood.
cheesed him out the cover.
You just stay on the blood. I'm going to go down along that field edge, and I'm just going to work it and try seeing where you went in. So I did that and end up finding where you went in, and the blood just still wasn't there. There was a decent amount of it where he jumped into the woods. Like, he jumped through, like, this tree with this like little teeny tree, and all the leaves were just covered with blood, but it still wasn't like, this deer's dead blood. So,
Well, especially to get to another tree line from where you shot at, dude, that's like hundreds of yards.
Well, he
was the
just
same
went.
tree line.
Oh,
You,
did he?
you know that corner we took around and we sat
Oh,
right
you were
there.
right in there. Okay.
He did that same thing. He took that corner and he went into the woods right there at where it
Gotcha.
bends and then it corners off.
Gotcha.
There's a really, really defined trail
like
in
50
there.
yards, maybe you ran.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they always use.
Field edge. So, I'm like, dude, I probably one-lunged them, if not just shoulder. I'm not going to, if I one-lunged them, I'm not going to go in there and bust them out, I'll let them lay. So I took like 2 steps into the woods, the wood line, and I'm looking around. I don't really see a whole lot. I'm like, all right, dude, I'm not going to risk it. I go back home. I check my other 2 cameras, and there's pictures of them on all 3 cameras. And I got like 200 pictures. And I'm just sitting there depressed, like,
Oh man,
dude,
that's the
it
worst.
hurts so
That's the
bad. I was
worst.
torturing myself. 200
Meanwhile-
pictures, and I got every angle.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, that's a 15 point. Wait. Like, I was like 14, 15. Wait, how many points does this thing have? It's the biggest buck of my life.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, and my girlfriend's just sitting there with like fooge face. I'm just like, this would be the biggest buck of my life if I found this buck.
Wait, what kind of face did she have?
A fooge face.
What's a fooge face?
Fooge face, like a.
The resting bitch face.
Yeah. Same
I've
thing.
never heard that.
Like
It's a new word for me.
he loves deer more than me face.
Yeah.
It's like
I
a
know that
mixture
face.
of jealousy, not caring, and just pure hatred.
This is the second new word that I've heard him
Yeah.
say tonight.
We got a whole dictionary.
There'll be more.
The
Yeah.
Joe. But yeah, me and Sam, meanwhile, are up to camp. So I'm like helpless at this point. I'm feeling helpless. He's sending us pictures, sending us texts like what happened. And I'm like screaming at my phone like, why the fuck are you backing out? Like it's a shoulder shot at the worst. Like get your fucking ass in there and go find your damn dog. I'm screaming through the phone at him, like in text messages. I think I might even full caps. Like, dude, what are you backing out for? You have nothing to fear. Like, I get it. I'm always the guy that's like, wait longer. But in that situation, the way you laid it out, I'm like, just go after him. Go after him. I mean,
One lung, man. One lung.
Well, the one lung doesn't make sense, though, because, like, if you don't have a lot of penetration and it's forward, I don't know. That's tough. But you didn't have the blood, though. That's the weird part. Like, if it was muscle only, you would have had the blood. It would have been spraying everywhere, like crazy shit at the beginning, and then it peters
But that
out
was
to
like
nothing.
the deer that I shot last year. It was the same scenario. Like I shot, and the deer jumped and started running off, and my whole arrow was sticking out of him. And I was like, oh my god, I just messed up again. Because a couple weeks prior to that, that's when I shot the big one, and was perfectly fine. But it just took a while because you'd find we had probably a handful of drops of blood that we followed. Other than that, we were just looking up for kicked up leaves and stuff like that. And then we got to a
because you
point,
didn't have an exit either, right?
No,
Yeah.
What it ended up happening was it hit the other shoulder. It got a whole, we'll say pass through, but never exited the other side. It hit the other shoulder and then just bounced right back out.
Yeah. He
So
basically
we never
kicked it out.
had the blood. So I'm like, oh my god, I just wounded another deer. I'm like, I'm done hunting. I'm done. And it was like the same thing, but like once we got to a point where it stopped, and then we just had to kind of guess what trail the deer took. Luckily, we picked the right trail.
Luckily.
Yes.
And then once we got 20 yards into there, it just opened up because his diaphragm filled up, and it just started pouring out. It looked like a murder scene.
Yeah, mine didn't. I hit opposite shoulder, but I mean, I put a good hit on him. So I mean, I wrecked him inside, but that arrow it plugged the hole. That's literally what it did. It just plugged that hole until he finally fell down and ripped that thing out, and then it literally looked like someone had a fire truck back there spraying.
Yeah, mine went in. He ran probably 20 yards, and it was already out. The broadhead broke off inside of him, but the arrow was out. And I was like,
yeah,
oh
I
my
mean, that
god,
honestly
it's
does more
stuck in
damage
his
to him.
stuck in his shoulder. Like,
I think the best thing with a shoulder shot is if it stays in.
yeah.
If the arrow comes
Yeah.
out immediately, you're
it's
probably
like-
not going to find that deer.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
Yours broke off, you said.
just the tip, just the broadhead.
Just the tip.
It was almost like it like unscrewed itself. Like it wasn't, the arrow wasn't broken.
It broke at the insert? Or just came
I don't know.
off?
I
Like,
can't remember. It literally looked like
the
it just came out.
broadhead body broke where it screws in. Was the broadhead was unusable? It was broken, right?
No.
Really?
No, when I got it back from the processor, the whole thing was there. Like the
Is
whole.
it the one that we found the blades in? Like the blades of the broadhead? No, that was
No.
Jeff's deer. Jeff.
No, that wasn't mine because I took mine to somebody and they found it, but it
That's
was just
really
it was
weird.
just weird because it was almost like it unscrewed itself,
They'll do that, man.
which is
There's a lot
weird.
of
I figured it would
vibration
break.
and everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Damn,
but he
it
didn't go that
immediately?
he didn't go that
Was
far.
it
He probably
immediately?
went 20,
pretty
30,
much
30 yards
immediately.
maybe at the most.
And your arrow came out after what? 70, 60, 70 yards?
No, probably like 30 or 30 probably at the most.
Really?
Yeah, I mean
That's
it was
when your arrow came out.
It was out. Like I shot, it hit him.
Did you tighten it up when you put it on your?
I thought I did. I must not have. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
It's not like
I
you
don't
Where
know.
you holding that
Turns,
thing?
we're good.
But I mean, it did it.
Let her
It
rip.
worked. I mean, once it came out, the blood stopped. But then once
Yeah.
he took off into the trail with all the thicket, and I mean, we went 20 yards in. Luckily, we picked the right. Luckily, we picked the right trail, and
Get
it
my
was
wife's name right.
it was
Christina.
literally a bloodbath.
my God.
But he still went another 100 yards, which was crazy to me.
Yeah,
like there
I'm
was
Just
it
making an
literally.
Outcast reference. You did. I caught it. I know what you're about, Charles. Chaz.
Anyways,
Go on. I
let's get
apologize.
back
I
to
just
it.
wanted to.
Well, no,
I
we
just wanted to
wanted
recap into. I know what you're
Yeah,
going
we're-
through
we're-
at this
we're all on
moment.
the same
Building
page.
up. You're good.
We're on the same.
I know
page.
the feeling that you're feeling.
Yeah.
So
Time to go to the Guinness now. Here we
It
go.
hurt. So, I already got in an argument with my girlfriend about tracking this deer because she's like, "Well, I want to go look at a house tomorrow." I'm like, "Well, the house doesn't matter because it's not that good of a house, and this deer is really cool,
yeah,
and your house sucks." So I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like,
For her to
listen.
listen to this.
She's like, "Well, how long is it gonna be?" I'm like, "How long is it gonna be?"
until it's
I don't
over.
know.
Until it's over.
Whenever we find deer, if we find it. If not, we'll search around for like 2 hours.
I'll be there till dark.
And somebody will call it. That's how this works. Argument, dude. I almost broke up with her that night. Like, just over a deer. So, that night, I'm losing it, obviously, but I'm getting a crew together. You know, I'm all in. Dude.
Justice League assemble.
Exactly. So my buddy I used to work with the steel mill, he's like, dude, you need help? I'm there. I work tonight. I'm working right now, but I'll come out after night shift. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, I'm gonna need you. I
Yeah.
don't think he was expecting it. I was like, I'm gonna need you.
And me and
You're coming
Sam,
out.
me and Sam were on 80. We were still on 80.
And
And I'm like, dude, do we turn around? We go back? Like, what do we do? Like,
Yeah.
what do we do? I don't know.
ruin your Saturday. Huh?
I had to work.
Yeah,
the
like,
next
do I
day.
work? Yeah.
I was screwed.
Because we were going up to hunt one day.
So I got everybody's up camp, but Russ, right? Yeah, I got Russ. I got Ferletta. McCoy was working, and I got my buddy Brandon. So next morning we're meeting at 7. We're going out. So we meet up. We go out. And we kind of had a game plan going. Like, all right, drive the quad up there, and Ferletta and Russ will come down past his stand, like where the deer ran to, and they'll come through that bottom and try picking something up. And then me and Brandon, we're going to go around, and we're going to keep tracking this deer where it went in the woods. So me and Brandon get up there. We start tracking down, and it's like decent, lost it. And I'm like, man. And I'm starting to freak out. You know, once I put a chew in when I'm tracking a deer, it means things just got real. You
Pack a
know,
lippy.
Yeah.
Gotta
so
pack a lippy.
put a chew in. I'm like, all right, left, right, because it went at like this bush and just stopped. I'm like, all right, left, right, where to go? Trying to figure it out. Here comes Ferletta, do up the fucking hill, just looking at the sky.
Before
I'm like, and Russ is just like, which is not like him at all. I'm very disappointed.
Say, isn't Russ the reliable one out of
Yeah.
like all of you?
He's
out
the guy
of
that-
4 million siblings.
Typically.
Yeah. So I'm yelling at him. I'm like, dude, pay attention. The deer's going your way.
I just put a chew in, dog.
Put your fucking head down.
Look around for
And
blood.
smell for
You're
blood.
walking through there, fucking up the area. Look around for blood, dude.
I just packed a
And
super
then-
fat lippy. Get your shit together.
They didn't pay attention to me, so I yelled at them again. Russ yelled back at me, and I was scared. So I just shut the fuck up, and we went on with the tracking.
I was scared.
Come down with that very salt and pepper beard and just headbutt you one time.
It's all salt.
His whole head's salt and
Yeah, I was
pepper.
going to say, there's not much
So-
pepper left.
Yeah, you used to go to the store. A lot of pepper.
My God.
So
Love your ass.
we're hanging out and we're trying to find where he went, and we're just stuck. And a sticking point with a buck like this, it's just your brain's going in a million different ways. So finally, like, we're trying to figure it out, and Phil goes, "There's an ass right there. There's a deer ass right there, right over there." I'm like, "Fuck." I grab his back and I get up real close to him. I'm trying to see what he sees, you know.
He's
'Cause
like,
I'm like,
6'9"
I'm
ogre.
like, no, what? No
Climb
way,
his
dude.
back.
Yeah. I'm like real low. I got
Grab his
grabbed by the
hood.
back, and I'm looking. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Where?
And I see it, and I'm like, in my head, I'm just like, there's no way this deer's dead within 80 yards. There's no way. How is there a way? You know? So I grab him, I'm looking, and I see the deer ass, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I let go of him. And I
deer
start like
ass.
sneaking around, because it died in between like two bushes, so you couldn't see the top half of him. Like,
Yeah.
well, the chance there's another deer dead right here. Well, this,
Who knows?
but
though?
my
Who
brain
knows?
is just so blown apart, because the whole night before, I was just ripping myself to pieces. I'm like, dude, if I find this deer, I might cry. I might literally cry, because there's no chance I'm finding this deer. And within 80 yards, I see it, and I'm going around the bush real
So
slow.
wait, this is the next morning?
Yeah, it's the next morning.
Forgot about that.
And I go around the bush real slow, and I see this rack, and I lost it, dude. I'm like, let's fucking go! Dude, I let one loose.
Yeah.
Because I still cared about the area for other hunters.
Yeah.
It's still Saturday.
About these guys, And I let one
The
loose,
other guys.
and then I was just fist pumping, dude. I'm fist pumping, high fiving. I don't know how many high fives I threw out. A lot, at least 3 rounds,
No less than 3 slap hands.
dude. And it's just like, I thought I'd cry. I didn't cry. I swear I didn't cry, but I thought I was going to. It was just a magical moment, and like everybody else said, like, the trail cam pictures didn't do a whole lot of justice.
No, they didn't.
I thought they
Even the
somewhat
pictures.
did.
He sent me pictures
Yeah, any
and
kind
then
of picture.
was like, yeah, Dad measured him. He's like 165. I'm like, that's fucking high.
Well,
was
we were
like,
talking, like, we're
full of
standing
shit.
over, and I count everything. I'm like, dude, like, I'm counting it as a 16 point. There's 2
I think
questionable. This one's questionable.
That's
this
not
back
measurable.
hook,
Kickstand.
There is
His little kickstand.
Yeah.
the kickstand,
Mister.
Oh, yeah.
There
I
is
saw that in the
one
pictures,
point right
and that
here.
was-
This one I think was only 7/8 inches or something. It's just
It was
short
close.
of an inch, so
We'll
it didn't
see.
count. But
We'll see when the real measurements come in.
The thing that's crazy is those little kicker tines down there like go straight, like perfectly straight,
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah,
thorns.
they're
Like,
like-
usually you see them, they
like
got like a little like
Devil horn,
like
brows.
the kickstand has a
yeah,
curve
they
in
got
it.
like a little yippee ki.
Those ones are like eye pokers,
But like,
dude.
when you shoot a deer, like, I had camera picture him, so I had an idea. But every deer I ever shot, dude, every buck, look at him with the binocs, shoot her, put him down. I don't even know what they look like, honestly.
Yeah,
Until I kill them and I put my hands on them, I'm like, holy shit, this has a lot going on.
yeah.
There's stickers, there's this, there's that. You don't look at the antlers that long, because it'll just fuck you up.
You
Well, the
mentioned
night-
wall hanger earlier. Sorry, buddy.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I wanted you to define wall hanger for everyone out there, because everyone's, I've
knows
seen,
what a wall hanger
I've
is?
seen some 6 points mounted. Is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Mine don't compare to this, and I got them mounted.
Well, I mean,
so.
to be fair, I got a 7-point sitting down there on a nice little mount, but it's a 16th
shorter.
of this size. No,
Yeah.
it's a European, but
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
Europeans
got 2
don't
shorter
So
mounts.
you-
One because it was my first buck ever, and it took me 10 years, and the second one was my first
Perfectly-
archery. So
perfect.
well, they were
Perfectly fine.
both really nice bucks, though.
yeah, but nothing like they were like.
Your first buck
a
was
quarter of this.
Your first buck.
My
was
first
a good
buck was good. It had nice brow tines. That's
Trying
what
to
that was.
think.
It was because we
Last
did it over
year's-
my.
No, last year's buck you got mounted.
Yeah, I did because that was my first archery.
I don't
That was a
remember
nice
that deer.
too.
It didn't really have any brow tines. The one was like broken
Oh,
off.
okay.
And,
I measured the damn thing.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
yeah.
Okay.
In the
sorry.
station garage.
Hello,
we did that this year too with mine. We were like, damn, this thing's tiny.
I haven't seen that deer yet.
Yeah.
Other than pictures.
It's in my garage. I still got to give it
So-
the Garver.
A wall hanger to me, I don't know. Just the deer just has special qualities, special size. I don't know.
What about now? What is your wall hanger now? What is if you? I mean, once you
Now-
get this one done, what's a deer got to do to get on the wall?
I mean,
how many
still
points do we
like.
call this officially? Do we say this was 14? Is that what we said it was?
You could call it 14.
It's 15.
I'm calling
15?
it 15
It's
or
15
16. Yeah.
legal measurable points.
Who came up with a good nickname for him?
You came up with a good nickname, but the nickname was already taken, and I cannot switch nicknames in between nicknames.
All right, what are the nicknames? I got it.
It was either Kickstand, which I thought you were talking about these for some reason. I don't know
No.
why.
Oh,
Because it looked like a.
so you
like a
came up with kickstand.
Yeah.
He's used that a lot, by the way.
I have
He's a
used it a
coward.
little bit.
Well, I was gonna
Come on.
say
And the funny part was once he cut it like this and gave it
Kickstand's
back to
way
me,
better than
it
splits.
sits on this kickstand
Yeah.
perfectly. And I sent you a picture. I was like,
You're welcome.
kickstand worked.
Yeah, splits is
I
taken.
like splits.
He can't be splits.
I
Splits
like
is
splits,
taken.
man.
Splits is lame.
I can't
Yeah.
I can't
What deer
rename
have you ever
them.
heard named Kickstand? None.
So,
Not many.
wall hanger to me
I
now. I mean, my buck from last year, he came out beautiful. Beautiful.
I think he
You
had the
got that
kickstand.
Luckily, he has a kickstand.
So the buck last year, he scored like, 138. We scored him green.
What, dude? 138's a big
Yeah.
deer.
That's
That's
a
a
big
big
point.
deer.
Yeah.
8 point.
straight eight.
Yeah.
That's gigundo.
He is
That's a
beautiful.
giant 8.
I think he would have fought him to the death pretty well because he was so thick, man. He had that big
This one had a big body
frame.
on it from the pictures you sent me.
He was 180.
Yeah, he
Weighed
was,
You know
180.
what?
He was
He's
pretty
a
big.
healthy boy.
Right now, I'm telling you right now, this deer will be your nicest mount, and not because he's the biggest, because you killed him early season. He has that early season pelt,
Yeah.
that thin hair. Like this deer,
That's what
when
Jens
he's
was
done,
saying.
is gonna look fucking amazing.
That's like
It's cool. You got those
Danielle,
real dark,
the,
bladed
yeah, those
twos.
caramel colored horns.
the year that I
so
shot
much-
my first buck,
Yeah,
it was late. It was in rifle season, so he was like, and you look at my mount and you can tell, like he's kind of like
Super hairy.
scruffy looking,
and
like
scruffed up,
yucky.
yep.
But Danielle's, she got hers on the second day 2 years ago, and her coat is just like beautiful.
Gorgeous.
It's like,
Yeah, she
it's,
shot
like,
hers the
perfect.
first weekend. I shot mine the second last year.
She shot hers the second day.
Second day, yeah. First
yeah.
day.
Those early season bucks are just
Oh, he was beautiful.
gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's what
Couches.
Jens was saying. But I mean, I don't know. Just the buck just has to have like good characteristics. You know, I'd say Pope and Young, but I have some bucks on my wall that I don't know if they'd. I'd say most of them would probably be around Pope and Young, but
I mean, other than maybe like your first one.
first one though, I mean, he was thick. He had
But,
11-inch G2.
That's what I mean. Like
He was
it
super
changes,
cool, but
right? Like you mounted your first. You mounted your
Yeah,
first archery buck.
had to.
And then from now on out, like you're gonna have to beat that obviously to
Yeah.
mount another buck.
Yeah.
You know, but our buddy Sam, he mounts every single buck he shoots. Like
I need his job.
Yeah,
It's a bit savage for me. It's a
he
bit
work-
too savage for
he
me.
works for me.
Oh, okay, you hiring?
But you know, his mindset is every buck is a trophy to him, which they absolutely are, and they all deserve to be like
same treatment.
There's a respect.
the same
Noticed.
treatment
They
for
have to
every
be
deer.
noticed.
Yeah, but like brought back to their form, like
Yeah.
like the life that he took.
I
He respects it
yeah, I
by
could definitely
shoulder
get behind
mounting that animal.
Yeah, I could get behind that for sure.
You know,
I mean, I
and I'm
get
like-
it. I definitely get it.
I couldn't afford it, but dude, yeah,
I understand it, but who has the room for that?
Yeah,
That
you know,
that's
yeah.
right. Yeah, where are you gonna put them all?
Like
that's funny because I've been in this house and I've never even seen the mounts.
I've seen
They're
them. They're
just-
up in like a room.
they're in the
all in
basement.
like one
They're-
room.
They're in
Yeah.
the basement in that back room.
It's
just
like a
piled
spare
up.
room. Just
Oh,
just
he's got
filled with
like
mounts.
Dobermans on watch when you go
But-
in there. So you're like,
But yeah, I mean, this is mount number 6 for me in the past 8 years. 8 years, $8, 6 on the wall.
yeah. And luckily, you know, me podcasting and stuff, I found out about these double hang systems.
Oh,
and I
Those
talked
are cool. Those
talked
are
my
cool.
mom
Did you
into
see
getting
that
them
snap?
some.
Oh man.
They're
So
cool. Spicy.
it's
They're
freaking badass,
Spicy.
man.
Yeah, we hooked up that 2017 buck with my mountain buck last year, and they went together real nice.
Combo is sick.
I remember. I think it was like the second night after you got him. Me and Danielle came up to your place,
For him, yeah.
and we were talking about your other mounts and stuff, and you said that there was always like a similar characteristic, which was a kicker.
Oh yeah.
Just about
Kicker
all of
on
them
the
had a
one side,
kicker
yeah.
on
the
all
left
of them.
side.
So it was like it's kind of neat to see that, especially if you're
Yeah.
hunting in the same area.
yeah, you start matching
It's
them
just
up, and you're
it's
like,
just kind of like it's kind of neat that every one of them or however many have that.
like the
that
12 I shot, he had
characteristic.
all kinds of goofy stuff on him. He had like matching kickers coming off his G2s. Like both G2s had a kicker coming off.
I
It was
love
real
kickers.
They're so
And he
cool.
had like, all kinds of goofy shit. He had a split brow.
Yeah.
And yeah, he'd be around Pope and Young, but still, if I shot him, next year, I'd probably mount him. Like that's
just
kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It's just
it's got to have that
cool
like it
characteristics.
factor, I guess
Yeah.
you can say.
yeah, exactly.
This deer's never even
That's
been in
good way
a
to put
fight
it.
in this set of antlers. Like, there's not even a
Dude, he had
freaking
gouge marks
scratch
all
on
over his
him.
neck.
That's weird.
Gouge marks down to where I cut off his neck meat, and there was like blood.
Someone
bloody
shanked his ass.
Meat.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
go head to head with them. I'd have to come
No.
from the side too.
That's what I'm thinking.
You know what I
Somebody
mean?
was jamming him up a bit.
That's probably all them spikes, dude.
Somebody tried sneaking
Remember all
them.
the spikes we got on cameras fighting in there?
under that tree last year, man, and there's these asshole. And one was like a split, like a fork, and one was a spike, and they were just bullying these does. Like, dude, they were coming in full throttle, just ramming into their sides.
No kidding.
And I'm like, stop being assholes! I want to shoot one of these does, man.
Dude,
Fuck outta here.
I don't know about you guys, but this year, more than ever, I've seen more spikes and crab claw forks this year than I think I've
I
seen
don't think I've seen any.
ever.
Well, ever since the point restriction went in place, I would say like the last 6 or 7 years, every year I see so many little bucks, like tons.
No, not just little bucks. Straight up like
Like giant spikes? 'Cause,
Yeah, like-
I checked my camera and there's
super spikes.
6 different spikes. And one's
Yeah.
like a 12-inch spike. He's just like giant spike. He looks
This-
like an antelope.
This one that I've seen
It's
that I
freaking
saw,
cool as hell.
I saw him. Oh God, 50% of the days that I went out and hunted this one area, he's just one side crab claw, straight up. It's got to be at least 6 inches long. It's freaking huge. Dude, I saw him every time. Dude, he was just like, "Dirt," like Amish gonna shoot me in November. Like,
That's great. But yeah, going back to the character, man, the only thing like about my biggest buck is he broke off his 2 stickers.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Because we had I have pictures on the trail camera
You can reform.
before that. Yeah, but like,
Takes away from the character.
Right.
Yeah,
Now he
Of what
has.
the deer
Now
is.
that's
He has
him.
a
That's
different
him.
character.
Though,
that's
you
what
know
he
what
is.
I mean? That's what he is.
That's what he is when I got him.
Yours
Yeah.
is cool because you ran into that
The wire.
that barbed wire
Yeah.
fence.
Yeah.
And you got that cut on his neck still.
That's so
Yeah.
crazy, dude. You had to be
That's
there.
how you
Like,
know you got the same hide back.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
funny thing is, I turned that into Jen's, and I was like, dude, when you get that back from the tannery, don't be alarmed if there's like a big cut in the neck. I said he ran into a fence. He's like, dude, I didn't even see that. I'm like, what do you mean you didn't see that? You mounted him. But yeah, that was really cool. That was
Yeah.
but the kickers,
It's
man.
gotta have a certain characteristic to make you
Yeah.
like for this one you have obviously that
Nobody
thing
questions this one.
sitting
But,
there.
like,
obviously,
but
there
like
are
even if say you were to
questionable
shoot a 115 but it was on a 10 point with all kinds of goofy shit at the bottom, like
Yeah, if I
that'd be
shot,
something
like,
that would be like unique.
Cupine. If I shot Cupine and he had like, some other shit going, like he was a little bit bigger
Yeah.
because he's still, I don't know. You have to
From that
measure him out
picture
to
I'd
see.
say what
You have to put your hands on
He's-
that deer because that
he's
deer
not
has so
very
much
old.
weird stuff
He's
going
young.
on. You can't really justify it by just looking at a picture. You have to put your hands on him.
right
Yeah.
right
He's not
would-
super
That
framey.
would probably be a mount, but his frame was just real. Yeah, he just didn't have. He wasn't mature yet.
he's
Next
got a
year-
lot
He was
he's
an
got a lot
awesome
going
looking
for
buck,
him, that's for
and
sure.
he wasn't mature. And when that deer grows up,
Dude, he
Next
has-
year-
I mean next year he could turn
if we
into
see him
something
next year, dude,
serious.
holy
give
shit.
him 2 years.
I mean, even just
he's
1
pushing
year, like
160s.
his next rack. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it could
he's a shooter next
explode,
year.
explode.
1,000%, he will be a shooter next year. Mm-hmm. But if you gave him 2,
Oh right, yeah.
Which-
he makes
yeah.
it too.
well, that's the thing. At that property,
Any property we hunt, we don't say give him a year.
don't-
We just
No.
say
They don't stay.
If he
on
makes
that
it,
property.
it'll be
hopefully
great.
you make it
Across
to
the
next
street,
year.
dude.
this
Yeah.
is the first deer.
Because the Amish go through there and
Yeah.
gun, I heard, and they just tear it to pieces.
They
So,
do that
everywhere. Yeah.
This is the first year that I'm like actually following along on a buck and creating a story. That's really never happened before. You know,
Yeah.
with us hunting, it's
Right.
like
Well, the year I didn't kill a buck, 2018, I didn't kill a buck that year, and I had one buck on there, he kind of had some goofy characteristics, but he wasn't really. He was maybe like a 110, maybe. But he was like the biggest buck I had on camera, and I'm starting to think like maybe that's this guy, because you give him 2 years after that.
Very well could be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know,
2 years does
turn him into a
wonders.
4-year-old.
Unreal.
It's insane.
This
Unreal.
could, that
Especially
could
on
be
that
even
property.
Yeah, even just a year. I
That's
mean,
what you
I've-
wonder
I-
when you get a buck like this and you have multiple years of pictures. You wonder.
you try to
where
piece them
was he?
together. Yeah,
Did you
try
ever
to
send
piece them
his
together and see
teeth
what
in?
No, I have the jaw from him, and I have the jaw from Mr. Big.
I would
gotta
like to
send him
see
in.
how old this one is.
Yeah.
Because to get that big, you gotta. I would
At
like
least
to
be
know.
4. You
I
gotta
was
be
saying
4.
4 when I saw him.
When
4.5?
When you
think.
brought him home and I came when I was working, when he was there, he didn't look like he was that old. Like he
No.
didn't
Yeah.
look like he's been
He didn't
around
have
for
the
a
giant
long
pot
time.
belly for sure, but
But
he
even like
also killed him
He had that big
first week of
sternum.
season.
true,
You know,
yeah.
he doesn't
I mean,
have
he
his-
was.
Big
Don't get me
brisket.
wrong, he was
Yeah.
big. He was a
Yeah.
very, very
Oh,
big
very
deer,
healthy deer.
But just like in his facial features, I like to me, I guess, and I don't really know too much
The
about
face
it
is
anyway.
hard.
He didn't
but
have
like,
that salt and pepper look.
yeah,
Yeah.
But he looked like I'd say if I were to get, I'd say 4.5.
Yeah. Which is
five and a half at the
4.5
latest.
is ancient in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
the
yeah,
average
yeah,
age
absolutely.
of a whitetail in PA
Two-
is
two and a
2.5.
half.
2.5.
which
So,
is
In that
absurd.
area,
but-
though, the genetics are just wild. Like
Yeah.
I've explained this to multiple people. Like
Dude, the closer you get to that Ohio line, the better
you look
the
at
genetics.
one area you're killing deer out of, and you look
Wait,
at another.
Ohio line?
And
We were on the
just,
Virginia line.
Monroeville
Like
line.
looking at this area that we kill these deer out of, like all the bucks are
We'll cut
just
that
like
out.
they're a different creature, man. They're just thick.
well, and that's what's
They're
nice about
goofy.
that's what's nice about what you guys do there is you don't do what the typical Western PA hunter does and just shoot
First
whatever.
thing that walks in
Yeah.
front
Right.
of you.
Like
Right.
you
I let
you
you
have
pine go. End up with him.
like
10
you have the
minutes later.
willpower to hold back
We've
on
ma-
a
we've
nice
matured.
8.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
we've-
granted, obviously when you're younger, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But now, once you get to see and obviously seeing what is coming up and what is the up and comers, and you're able to hold off on that 3.5-year-old
Yeah.
and give it another year to see what it turns into.
This
Hopefully,
property,
it's
though, Dude, it's like heaven. Like when I was younger, I missed a deer every bit as big as this deer, if not bigger, like taller. He didn't have all the character. He was just a
Yeah.
straight up massive 10-point. I mean, every point was like these G2s.
Yeah.
Like the whole way. It was just,
I think that's why he has so
Giant.
many inches.
Yeah.
Not
you know, these
Because
deer
of all
every
the goofy
every
shit.
year I feel
think how
like
many
we
inches
see one
came
or
off
two.
Of that.
he's
came
still,
off all
he's
the
still
goofy shit.
big,
Yeah.
healthy deer, though.
Yeah.
And even
Like-
without those, he's...
you
I'm
take all the
saying,
goofy
like-
stuff away, and you still got a beautiful.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
people are
Beautiful.
questioning the
What,
160
130s?
areas.
Well, that's what I'm
and
saying,
I'm like,
like-
dude, imagine taking this 3 inches, this 3 inches,
Right.
that 3 to 2.5, whatever.
side, too.
It
You
add the
still has
mass.
long brows.
He's got
It
good
still has real
mass.
long brows
Yeah.
without the
Yeah.
splits.
No, he's
and
still
then add
probably-
all these onto the G2s or G3s or both, and you look at that deer and you go, that's a 160. You know what I'm saying?
They
Yeah.
add up quick.
You give this like a solid frame
He's still
without all
long.
the goofy,
That's the thing.
and you
His
add all the
spread's good.
goofy to the
I don't
G2,
remember what that
G3.
scored, but
you'd be like,
it's
holy
every
shit.
bit of
7+.
no, it's more than that.
Oh,
wanna
that's
say
Oh,
it's
maybe the
almost
Z's were
9.
7 or something.
Over 9 inches, and it was like, you know, like I was telling you, that deer I missed would not score as well as this deer because he didn't have all the character in the nasty. He just had a giant frame with real high. He would probably been in the 150s,
Yeah. Oh, I can
you
see
know,
that.
and I whiffed on him, and it was only a 35-yard shot, but I thought it was 25, and those were the early days. Those were the Fred Bear bow days.
Yeah.
Fred Bear
Killed a lot of deer with that
SQ32.
bow.
Yep. Single pin, 25 yards, and he came in behind me, fed for a half an hour. Dude, I was shaking so hard.
That's worse than when they
It's
just
the-
come straight in. When
it
they like
is
linger and they give
the
you time to
worst.
think about it, that's when you start screwing up.
Yeah, it was
for sure. With
cold
any
as
animal,
hell.
though. Turkey, same thing. You know, they
Dude.
come in and give you time to think. That's
My
when you start doing dumb
2017
stuff.
buck I killed out of the same tree as him. He went right underneath me 5 yards away and just stood there. And I don't look at the antlers, like I said, but when they're standing right underneath you, you don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I mean,
look at
they're
that
just-
spread. Look at that spread. What's going on? What's in my mind?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
you can't look away. I mean, the deer was behind me. I was in the tree. I was in the pine tree set up in the murder ladder, where he killed his bucks out of it, 92 yards, and he's behind me, and he knows you can't shoot behind you. Like, you just can't. He popped out in the most random place ever. Like, just a random trail. He just pops out of these pine trees and he feeds. And you can hear everything. I mean, he's 25 yards away.
Yeah.
Crunching on, grass and stuff. And it's crisp, cold-ass morning. I'm shaking so bad. Just like uncontrollably shaking. My body is doing things it's never done. And he comes down and he comes around and goes down this little hill like 5 yards beside me. Cuts out, and he was like, that last limb, which I don't know why my dad never cut that one limb off. Like,
That's
it's
Dad's
pointless.
Always Dad's fault.
We all said it, though. And, like,
Got daddy issues.
we all said, we're like, that limb does not need to
It was
be there.
his
Like,
stand, so we had to ask him for permission
You're not allowed to cut.
down limbs.
You're not allowed to cut limbs at all, right? So I'm like, man, he's
I
right
don't want to
there.
mess
and
with the feng shui.
I'm right here, and I'm stressing the bowstring, and he turns and walks directly away from me. This is back when the property owner used to ride around and cut lanes throughout the field, and there was one that goes straight out, and he's walking straight down it. So I drew back, and I'm holding on, like, just turn, please turn. What I should have been thinking was, how far is he?
Yeah.
Where's he at now? Wide open field. He cuts across, and I mean, we're talking the biggest body I've ever seen on a deer in my life, and that's pushing even the deer I've seen in Illinois. Like, he was an Illinois-sized buck. When he walked underneath me, dude, he had an ass like a horse, stallion. And he cuts across. I put it right in the middle of him, solid as could be, squeezed it off, and I watched that arrow like slow motion, like Lane was saying last night, slow motion. Mm-hmm. And it went right under the pocket.
Oh.
He never budged, never
could see
dipped,
the
never
fletching
ducked, never
spin.
dived. He literally just went right under that pocket in his legs. He bounded off to like 45 yards and just did that cocky ass turn and look back at me. Like this neck like this. And he just looks back and, dude, how old was I? I don't know, 15. I didn't know shit. 16 maybe. Probably 15, 16. I grunt at him.
Why not, though? Why not?
Why not? Like, what do you dude, I'm freaking out. I just missed him. He's 40. I thought he was 60. I had no clue. I can't shoot that far anyways.
You know what, though? When they're all horned up like that, though,
He
you
took
could
off.
shoot at them. If you grunt at them, they might come back in. You never
The
know.
thing was, he's looking right towards me. As soon as I hit that grunt, he went, he's like,
you
dude,
idiot.
dude.
Yeah.
Tell Flick
See you never.
out of my life.
How about that shed they found years and years back out that property? The one side scored like 70 something.
Yeah.
So you give that a matching side and
That's a
18, 19 inch
18-inch
spread.
That's ignorant.
It's
That's a
up in the
That's a 150,
160 -ish.
160.
Yeah,
That's
160.
ignorant.
and that's years back where you don't see that.
Yeah.
No.
We've seen giants out there for years. It's just.
Well, I think that
property is-
area in general. I
It
mean,
was
I know a
scored
couple
on,
people that hunt in that general area, and I mean,
Where I shot mine was
there's
not
been
far.
there's been
Not far at
talk
all.
from the one guy that hunts down in that not so close to you where
He's like Penn Hills area.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Southern
yeah.
Pittsburgh.
He's like another township away, but he's close enough.
Mm-hmm.
But they're talking like 180s and like stuff that like this year being seen. Now that's just off you driving around in a car and seeing them in a field. But
Well, think about
if
the
you're
deer
saying a
that I was
180,
chasing.
it's probably at least a 140.
Oh,
you know,
Yeah,
sure.
it's
you know.
It's scary because people around here, man. Like
I mean,
know
people will get out of their car and shoot it and drive away and
Yeah,
come
that's-
back
that's
the
not
next
cool.
day in the dark or something. And I mean, they do that though. That's what sucks.
What I fear is the giant I was chasing around this year. I saw him once. Didn't see him after that. I mean, he was
The one,
freak nasty.
one.
yeah,
Freak,
the one.
freak nasty. He stood in a yard at 10 yards.
Oh,
think
that
makes-
caribou
for
looking thing?
3 hours.
I think
That
yeah.
caribou looking
Yeah,
thing?
that
that thing's
I'd
wild.
throw up if he came near me.
That deer
That deer was old.
might get poached.
That
You
deer
know
was
what I mean?
old, though.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
That deer
Town
was
change
like
like
4
that,
years
or
old.
But-
somebody could just like shoot them out their back door.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
literally.
There's a reason I've been driving
Chet
to
with
work
his
every
frickin-
day.
He's like one of
with
them.
my bow.
He's like one of them Seek One deer that you see.
Yeah.
And I'm not shitting you.
Yeah.
Like the deer that does Seek One guys, they shoot.
'Cause if
like,
I
this
see
is
'em-
very similar in similar
Yeah.
surroundings.
Yeah, but if I see him again, like during season, obviously, my whole plan was like, I don't care if I'm just in my dress clothes. I'm grabbing my bow. There's enough streets around. I can park and make a play on this deer. I can get
Yeah.
down. I can get upwind from him, and I can make a play. Because if he's on hot doe, All I got to do is beat the doe.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm wearing blue jeans
No, they won't.
or
know.
slicks with, dress shoes.
Get in a
I'm
bush.
making a play on them, and I never saw him again
Yeah,
this
bush.
year. But
He's still around.
I hope
He looked.
He's still around.
He looked injured, like that. When
He
you
looked-
sent me the pictures,
yeah.
it looked like he had this big, like gaping hole on his shoulder. It's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I mean that was November 7th. He could have gotten a scruffle.
Yeah.
Chet, the lawyer with the freaking $3 million home, shot it out his kitchen window
Yeah.
with his
With a
10-point
slug.
crossbow.
Yeah.
He
Stop
just
eating my wife's plants.
They were in the petunias.
Yeah.
Kicked him over the hill.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll find a deadhead this off season.
I mean,
I would cry.
I would be less surprised to find a dead head in someone's compost pile than and honest, I'm not saying that being a dildo either. Like, for real.
You're dealing with it.
I will say though, for that area, I don't foresee too many hunters.
No.
There's a couple, and I think there was another guy that was driving around after he saw my truck, and I could see him kind of going house to house, maybe trying to get permission. He went to the wrong house because I already been there, and you weren't getting in there. But the guy that owned the property, probably the biggest piece, I think it was like 17 acres. He said that he hunted already, and he was like 62 years old. And I left him a note because he wasn't home, and he called and left me a voicemail. And nicest dude in the world. But he's like, man, there's just there's not a lot of room already. A lot of us hunt back in there.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I have permission from another guy that's supposed to buy that property next year, and if he does, I have 100% permission to hunt it.
Yeah.
And then I also have permission right where I saw that buck stand with that hot dog.
Well, I was gonna say, if he has the biggest piece of property and there's a bunch of hunters, do you think that deer's gonna go there, or is he gonna find
only
that
if he
small
slips
block?
up. Only if he slips up on one of them doe.
Yeah.
That's it.
It'd have to be in the rut though.
Yeah. I was just down there the other day looking around because I drive around all the time right around dusk, and I found another buck that's, he's going to survive. Dude, he was eating the bushes from the house that were touching the house.
Dude, they
Yeah.
do that. My dad
Yeah,
has these
no one's
little
killing that
pine
guy.
trees. They
Yeah.
destroy them.
This time of year?
They
They're
destroy
like
'em.
pets for some of them people
Yeah.
up there.
Well,
for
the
sure.
good thing is, that guy had like a utility van in his driveway. He probably doesn't like deer eating his shrubs, but maybe he does. And,
Yeah.
he's got enough trees in his yard. I might be able to go over and ask him if I can hunt there. And
Yeah.
because that's a spot where he has like a brushy area, a big brushy area behind his house where a lot of deer bed.
That'd be, yeah.
Dude, I
was
saw
gonna say,
like
perfect
10 doe
thing,
in
yeah.
that buck the other day out of there.
Yeah,
So,
we didn't even mention that we were in that quest hunt. I know you touched on it in the last podcast, but
yeah.
we're in that quest hunt, and yeah, I put the pressure on hot and heavy.
Yeah,
first
And
you
week.
me and
Yeah,
Chuckie
you
are
did.
eating tag
Yeah.
soup.
Yeah, you were what?
Well, I
we
wasn't
were
in that,
like
though.
third place, right?
Yeah, Yins were in third place for a
Something
while.
like that. Yeah.
For a long
and then all
time
these
with
freaks
one
out of
deer.
Allegheny
Oh,
County
my.
started coming up.
That's a thing. Like I told him,
Right by where
you
we
know,
hunt in Monroeville.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
First
204.
thing, I told him, I was like, it's no pressure for me, dude.
3F.
Nothing's
Yeah.
gonna change this.
Right,
Nothing's
yeah.
gonna change this.
The tournament's just
I don't give a shit anymore.
the tournament's just
You
a
know.
tournament. I mean, but I will
I told
say
him
this.
It'd be cool to win a brand new bow, but you know what?
Oh,
I
hell
don't give
yeah,
a
it
shit
is.
because
You won
this
a-
is
you
even
did win a
cooler
brand new
bow.
sitting on my wall. And that's the thing. This year's tournament's not last year's tournament.
Oh,
you
not
know?
by any means, because
This year you
the
have
top
to shoot
10.
one of these and a Pope and Young, just to place.
Yeah,
Just to place
the top
top 10.
The top 10. Well, we'll actually say this: the number one spot from the year that me and Lane placed seventh
Yeah.
Like
wouldn't have.
176.
It was, I think it was 172.
Wow.
Wouldn't even have came in 10th
272.
place.
276.
Or, yeah,
Yeah,
272.
271.
Sorry, it wouldn't even have came in 10th place, so it wouldn't even have placed in the top 10.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely insane.
and there's a ton more people that got involved in
Well,
it this
that's
year
the whole
because
point, like,
it grew.
I knew
like,
that was going to happen.
by a ton.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I knew it was going to be
I
like
was gonna happen when that dude killed the
the
stinking
204.
204.
It was 204 unofficial.
Yeah, he measured a 204 with the tape.
Yeah, the unofficial.
207 and 7/8. I
With
think
the-
it ended
That's
up measuring.
insane.
We'll
Bush
find out.
bastards.
We'll find out at the banquet. They're actually they
That's
are
what
going
they
to have the
scored at.
banquet.
Are they?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I think
go.
it's still the February 27th. So it's like
Do
a
you
week
know-
after the last one. that
Do
we
you
had.
know if he can bring his deer to get it measured since he didn't place?
I don't. No, they just do the top 10. Because what we did, we went to the Bearded Buck on Friday evening. That was when the measuring was. So the top 10 for, I think it was PA, Ohio, and Kentucky.
Yeah.
We all went and measured on Friday.
You guys probably saw some deer.
Dude, it was insane. Insane. The
If
amount
they
of
do
deer.
it, PA, Ohio, Kentucky again, did you see? There's like a 220 something killed,
I think,
222.30 killed in Ohio this year in the competition.
I think Kentucky is not. It's just PA and Ohio, I think, now.
Yeah.
I don't think Kentucky's involved in that. I think they moved theirs with whoever else.
They
but
added
I
a
think-
state,
I
so they
think.
might have moved them with someone
So,
else. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, they did that. We went to the Bearded Buck on Friday night, and then Saturday night was the banquet. And it's a damn good time.
Yeah, we'll be going.
It's a damn good time. And
Pike
then the only thing that I wish we would have did, I wish we would have got a hotel and stayed. Because me and Lane drove.
that?
It's out.
It's like South Central PA.
I'm trying to think where it was. I don't remember, but it was like an hour and 45 minutes ish, 2 hours maybe at the
Yeah.
most.
Joe, do you know where Monroeville is?
Oh yeah.
It's nowhere near there.
Okay. Good to know.
It's not far from
I won't
there,
go that
actually.
way.
But yeah, it was cool,
Don't
man.
go.
That was probably that was hunting wise. That was a cool. You get to meet all these guys from Ohio and Kentucky, and then you see these deers getting brought in. And it's just like,
I'll get a little bit tore up and I'll talk
the
deer
hell?
hunting until I drive somebody insane.
yeah,
See, it's funny
Yeah.
that people don't know about Joe is Joe's the quiet one out of the 5 million siblings. Like he's the very quiet one, but you get like 2-3 beers in him and put a set of antlers in front of his kid, and
You put
he gets a little.
a little bit of whiskey in me.
Get a little horned up, eh?
Well, dude, you just drank.
But yeah, I think it's for that Quest banquet. I think that I want to say I saw a post the other day. It's February 27th. I don't have the destination where it's at yet, but pretty sure tickets are only $25.
Wow, you just kicked me so hard.
So
Is that chupacabra?
if we wanted to
if that's a
go,
buck
that
or
would be
not.
that'd be pretty cool. We have to get our tickets pretty quick though, because I think they
Send
go
me that.
pretty quick.
That'd be neat.
It's so fun,
Can
dude.
anybody go to that? Like,
Yes.
sitting
Yeah,
off the
yeah,
street?
you can
It was
buy
a-
tickets for it.
I
That's
didn't
cool.
know that last year. It was open
Yeah.
to the public.
Yeah, it was. Dude, it was so fun. We got
We
to. I
go,
mean,
hey,
we
have you
bullshit
heard
with
of
the
the
guys
Outcast?
from Bearded Buck for an hour. I mean, it was just.
Who else was there that we ran into at the Laurel Sports thing? Pennsyltucky boys, weren't they?
Kentucky, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
who's the other one? Oh, Rutten River was there, weren't they?
No.
No, they weren't there.
They weren't there.
No, not
Who's-
at
Oh no, it must be Bearded Buck dudes then.
that. You're thinking of the Driven Outdoors, Driven Purpose or something.
Driven Purpose, yeah.
Is that what they're
yeah,
called? Driven
yeah.
Purpose. I think you're thinking him. He was Brad was like
Brad.
right next to us.
Brad Harushka
Pennsyltucky, Jason
was across the way.
He's
yeah.
actually
He does the
is
mounts.
the Quest Hunt Co. He's a rapper.
Yeah, he's the
of
one that
some
gave us
sort.
the little
He's,
pamphlets.
they,
and stuff.
they,
Yeah.
he shot a nice buck this year.
He did shoot a nice
We need
buck.
to get him on the show.
I know. I promised him an
He's
episode too.
he's local too.
Yeah.
He's not. What?
I already lined it up. We're gonna go down there. We're gonna make some food, hang out at his place, and
We're
and
mobile
pod,
now.
And pod, yeah.
Or mobile.
Because
that'd be fun.
he's got a really nice place, and he's like
Is he out by Slippery Rock or
yes,
something?
he's out by
Oh,
Slippery
dude,
Rock.
he's like
Yeah, he's
right
close.
down the road.
He's very
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right
not
down the
far
road.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
Good
about you
dudes.
guys, but I'm excited about PA. Like PA has stepped it up. Dude,
Yeah.
like you're seeing
Yeah.
bigger bucks killed out of PA every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
This-
100%. 100%.
And it's not that far away. Like a lot of those bucks on that quest
We're in
hunt
PA. What
were-
do you mean it's
were
not
too
that far
big.
away?
yeah.
Luckily, we live
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
It's not that far of a
I'm
drive.
saying, obviously it's
No,
PA.
he's talking like
I know.
counties.
There's like 5C and whatever
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hell. There's
Potter County, the land of giants.
I'm saying
Tioga.
a lot of those
Dude,
bucks
Tioga, that dude.
were out of
Tioga legend.
Allegheny.
are half an hour away.
Yeah.
They were out of 2B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not.
No.
It's crazy.
No,
dude.
it ain't that. And what's funny is like if you look down at those areas, there's not that much land that you would think.
2B,
Hold the deer.
there's two public lands down there.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything else is
There's
private.
the game lands, and then there's that one place, what's that, North Park or whatever, that you have to get like special permission through the park.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still like that. I don't know. I don't
you
know
do.
if
You have to do a.
they have their own little hunter safety.
It's
sort
either
of.
I don't know if they actually draw or if they do like you have to sign in and like you get a permit and you have to pass like the
then-
shooting competency and
They give you a designated area to hunt. There's
Yeah.
like a grid.
yeah.
They're like,
There's
you're
a
allowed to
ton
hunt
of
here.
deer down there, but
It's insane.
There's also the game lands in Wexford, and then aren't you on 2B though? The game lands where you
I don't
shot
know
your
what
buck?
you're talking about. You freaking
Just
coward!
a little bit out of Monroeville.
There's two.
I was not.
Wexford?
I was not in 2B
Yeah.
officially.
So Wexford is the ones I've hunted.
Wexford's where me and Jeff always go down for that. There's Wexford starts early, that 2B in archery, and then what's the other place?
2B.
That starts. There's another.
2B's
There's
the
another.
only one that starts early in our area.
Yeah,
Is
the
it? I
only
thought there was another one.
No.
But
2B.
they're archery.
It's like 5C or
5C
something.
somewhere,
and
but
way
the-
on the other side of this.
Yeah.
But their archery season starts 2 weeks before ours, so we always go down there to just like
Yeah.
no expectations, just hey, we want to go freaking hunt because we've been
Knock the
completely
rust off.
Just bebop around.
we've
I
been
actually like
in the
it
woods.
because you get in and you start to get your pack right, you get your
Yep.
setup right, you get some climbs in, you figure out what's going to work, what's not going to work. You drop your tree stand on your bow from 20 feet and destroy it
Nimrod,
for the
you did.
season.
Womp womp womp.
You even just get in the woods, man. There's no better feeling.
Yep, it's
No.
because
Like-
it's scouting. Yeah, you're getting out
actually
there,
saw-
but it's not the same.
Dude, I almost shot a big buck out there this year.
There's big deer down
That first week, I had a really nice 8-point come by. And, of course, I was like, linesman's belt around the tree, and I looked back
Hanging
over
back.
my
So can I-
shoulder.
can
and
I-
there it
down.
is.
Can I say something
I
real
wasn't
quick?
even in the tree.
So we're talking about 2B, correct, right now?
Yes.
Okay, well, the guy that shot the 200-incher in PA was on public land.
Well, that's
So,
questionable.
Well, he posted it as public land.
Yes,
so
he did.
He's a
it kind of like narrows it
limits
down
it.
where
It
he
does.
was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The funny thing about that is there is, and I'm not going to spread any rumors, but there is a guy and there is some whispers.
He's
of-
spreading rumors.
There's a guy
Rumor.
that I talked to that apparently
rumor.
knows the story of that deer.
Yeah.
And it's like a known thing that he wasn't actually on public land. He was on private land.
Well,
That
Either
could just
way,
be
he did shoot it.
A jealous.
yeah, that's
Either
just
way.
that's someone
Just
saying,
going,
"Oh,
that
I've
guy,
seen
that deer was
before."
on my land. I have
Anytime you shoot a
pictures of him and
200-inch
velvet.
deer in
Everybody's gonna
Pennsylvania,
question it.
there's
Yeah.
gonna be doubt.
Because it's
And
not
you know
done. I mean, that's a rare thing.
At the same time, I don't even blame him for saying, "Oh, I shot it on public land," because you say you shot it on private, people freaking will look you up and come and do some shady ass shit on your property. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Private or not.
I
Potentially.
looked on his or
Right,
his
wrong,
friends.
otherwise.
I was like creeping to one day. I was just like, I'll look this dude up, see what
Yeah.
he's all about. And
Seems like a good dude to me, from what I've seen.
yeah, and it seems like he puts his work in.
Oh, 100%.
from what
See,
I heard,
what you
From
just
what
said
I
right
was
there,
seeing-
you looked him up and you saw the stuff. The same people that are like hating on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like,
from what
No,
I've
I wouldn't hate on
heard.
him.
no,
Dude,
but you know what I mean. I'm
I'd give
saying,
that
like,
buck
I'd
was
give him a
fucking
friendly headbutt. Say,
stupid.
"Fuck yeah, good job, bud."
definitely
Oh
have
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Don't do that to me tonight, please.
I
For
won't.
the love of God.
I can't get another concussion. I'll probably die.
I
Listen,
might
I mean,
die.
if you shot that buck, I'd be happier for you than anything else.
Yeah.
I want to be.
If someone
Yeah.
I knew shot that
Some
buck,
people
like,
are just haters. It's
Oh,
just,
there's
trolls out there.
There's too many. There's just too many.
there's
That's-
3
that's
stories.
today. That's
Okay.
today.
But that's what
There's
me and
his
Jeff were
story.
even talking about today.
There's everyone else's story.
Yeah, and
there's
then
the truth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right. Nobody really knows what happened.
Right.
I mean, if I shot a buck that big, the first thing I'd be doing is calling the game commission to come out immediately before I even like,
Please, I
found
want
the
you to
deer,
see
You know what I
this.
mean? Like I want to show them everything, completely verify it. The word that I got was that this guy is like he's trying to be like the Seek One guys. He's hunting the shit that I saw the freak. And,
well-
he's going around in little small neighborhoods, tight pockets, 1 acre, 2 acre plots behind houses in Pittsburgh. And that's where he shot the deer.
yeah, yeah. But some of those pieces, could
Whether
still
it's
be,
true or not,
yeah.
if he's doing it right and he's actually getting permission and he's not going by the
Yeah.
Pennsylvania law,
Yeah.
that's air quoted to fuck because
Yeah.
everybody thinks if you don't have purple paint now or a posted sign, you can hunt the property. Well,
Yeah.
it's a very gray area
Yeah.
in PA, and
Yeah.
I
There's
mean,
a lot of gray areas in PA, which piss me off. But
Yeah,
I mean, I
we
can't
won't
speak
go
for
there right
everybody.
now.
I know, like, my parents have a little bit of land. It's like, if you're ballsy enough to come on our property and hunt, you better be ready to return fire. You know what I mean? Like, straight up.
Yeah.
Like,
but down there, like,
same,
dude,
same my
it's
grandparents'
so
house at that
different.
pond. Those kids that come just like walk, they just walk through the woods like they can come straight through the yard and fish. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
dude, if you would have came and knocked on my door and said, "Hey, man, dude, go for it."
I'll
But when
fish
you
with
come
you.
sneaking
Yeah.
through the freaking corner,
Yeah.
shady as hell, it's like, no, dude,
Yeah.
Yeah.
get out of here.
That's why I won't tell the rest of what I heard because I have no way of knowing if it's true or false.
I mean, from
All
what
I've
I've
heard is
seen, he
that's what the
seems
guy
like he
does.
seems like a legit dude. His partner shot a nice one too. I think
Partner shot a 145.
140 something. Yeah.
How do you beat that?
Hey,
They're-
legit, dude,
they're
if,
like,
you're,
what,
if you're listening to this,
350 inches?
330
if you're listening to this,
something, or
You know what?
message us.
I'll reach out to him.
Reach out to him.
I'll reach
want-
out to him,
yeah.
try to get him on. How
That'd
about
be cool.
that?
That'd be really cool,
Yeah.
actually.
Okay.
Because I would like to hear that story, honestly.
That'd be. I mean, dude, you start getting into like even the 160, 170s.
Listen,
in
if
this
you
area,
you find a 140, a 130, that's a great fucking PA deer.
yeah, it's a good year. It's a good.
That's
one.
a good one. It's a good one.
I saw a repost of like
Oz. That's a good one.
I saw a repost of the dude
Yeah,
that
we just
killed like
woke
the
him up.
world record buck. I sent it to him because I went on that dude's
Is it the
Facebook.
Bowmore one?
What was that guy's? I don't remember.
What
the
one?
guy's
I'm
name.
sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to find that dude.
The
which I
Churdy
have no
Point
idea.
buck. The
Remember
Churdy
that
Point
big
buck.
That dude that had like the world record like 11 years ago killed the world record buck, archery buck. I sent it to you. I was like, dude, you should have this dude on your podcast. And I looked on his, Facebook a little bit, and I was like, man, this dude, he puts in some fucking work because
Is he from around
he's
here?
slamming deer like constantly.
Is he from PA or somewhere else?
I think.
I remember you sending me that, but I don't.
Is
I
that
don't remember
is it
the
a video
deer.
from like
I
the
think it
Deer
was, like,
Society?
Some Ohio stuff.
No, I think
it
he
was
was
just a
Ohio,
repost.
though.
Like the dude was just doing like it was
I'm gonna find that
the
dude.
11th or 10th year since he killed the world record buck. And
Oh, okay.
he was just doing a repost pretty much thing of that. And it was just one of those things that was just shared so many times that I
Yeah.
just ended up seeing it.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, I'm interested,
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Because like people like that, you wonder if it's like a one-time thing or if they're just like,
Oh, I know.
They're on
they're
'em.
slaying,
They're on 'em,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he was on him, it seemed like.
So, I know we talked. Well, we through text message about that topic of
Oh, yeah.
PA.
We can bring that up now.
Do we want to get into that because
Where are we at? An hour? We're at an hour and a half right
Hour
now.
and a half.
we can probably
cover it very quick and we
can
can
do
end
this
on it.
and end on
Let's
this.
end on it.
So basically, the title of the article is PA Game Commission proposes unlimited antlerless tags for deer hunters statewide.
Unlimited in quotes.
In
That's
quotes. Yeah, in
a very
quotation.
misleading.
It's a very
Super
it's a very
misleading.
misleading title.
Well, this is the
Clickbait.
second. This is the second clickbait article the Trib has posted. The first
Yeah.
one was more Sunday hunting coming to PA.
Yeah, which in this article it says there's basically three.
Keep
the
in
same
mind the
3
Trib.
days.
The Trib is from downtown Pittsburgh. That's
Yeah,
the Pittsburgh paper.
These people know nothing about deer hunting.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
But where's it coming from?
Downtown Pittsburgh.
Where's the information?
Oh, the information
coming
is
from the
coming
Game
from
Commission,
the
but-
Game Commission. What was proposed? These are the proposed laws. So this
Nothing's
is
passed yet.
nothing is passed. This is just
No.
them saying
This is what's getting brought
we
to 'em
think
in
this is
January.
a good idea. Let's bring it to the official vote
Yeah.
in January, the first round of votes, and then if it
Conor
gets
McGregor.
approved there, then it has to get approved in the final meeting in March. I think
April.
it is, or April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it has to go to our illustrious governor's desk.
yeah.
But anyway, the official
can
law,
go pound
as it's
salt.
being presented right now, is if you fill your 4 tags that you're allowed to buy, as long as you prove
So-
You're allowed to
that you
have
got it.
4 tags with you.
Well, the first change is we are only allowed to have in
3
all
antlerless tags.
WMAs, but
Yes.
2B, 3C,
Yeah,
whatever the other one
yeah,
is.
'cause
Right?
those have
They're
been
unlimited
unlimited for
forever.
however long. Yeah,
You're only allowed to have 3 tags total
Mm-hmm.
across. Doesn't matter if you get 3 2B or 3 1As, 3 2Ds, whatever, 2
Breathe into
Fs,
the mic,
you know,
Sam.
but you're never going to get. But the change is you can now, after the 3 rounds that you're going to stay the same, you can
Yeah,
send in
everything's
the
gonna stay the
3-round
same.
applications. Any tags that are left,
right.
you may go out and purchase a 4th tag.
with
Over-
proof of the other ones being
You
filled.
have
Not yet.
to-
Not yet. You can get the 4th over the counter second week of September.
Yeah,
Is that what it is in the 5th
And then
one?
if you kill a deer,
you have to
kill a doe,
you
fill,
have to do the harvest report and everything.
Yeah, you
and
have to
then
fill-
then you can keep buying them.
right.
As long as they're available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but it only said up to. It didn't say
It didn't say
after
anything after 5.
You have
The highest number
4
was
on
5.
your person.
You can only have 4 at a
until you
time,
kill
they
a
said.
deer.
Yeah,
But it seemed like they were going to cut it off at 5.
they probably won't. I mean, they're gonna make money. So if you
Yeah.
kill your 5th and you go back for a 6th, they're gonna sell it to you.
Honestly, butchering my own deer. I butchered 6 deer this year, and that's it. That's all I got in me.
Yeah,
I can't do another.
I don't see.
I wanted to give away
Now,
that
see,
last one.
I
but
have no
The biggest
problem
thing
with
is
it.
I read a where I first saw this was on Facebook. I saw it pop up on one of the
Yep.
hunting pages that I follow, and there was people going crazy And then there was one guy, obviously I don't remember his name, but he was like, you guys need to actually read it and understand it.
Oh, 80% of those
To
people
know.
read the headline and just
Yep.
went nanners.
Well, and that was it. I don't think they actually read.
Yeah.
And it is very hard to
I
understand.
had a guy at work tell me, he's like, dude, you hear there's going to be unlimited doe tags next year? I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. If you read just a
I
little
don't give a
bit.
shit. Like, I have enough doe tags as is. I got 5 doe tags. You
Yeah.
know, that's good for me.
Yeah, if you get your D maps and your 3 regular doe tags, you're pretty well off, I'd say. But
See, I'd be more worried about like the Amish going out there and just absolutely slaughtering 4 million deer, which they probably
They
do
do it
without
anyway,
a tag
but-
anyway. They left enough of a not hurdle,
How
but
much
enough
do
of
you
a
think they
enough of a
kill in
little
archery,
tag.
Yeah, but
though?
here's the
They
thing.
stink like shit, dude. How many
Here's the-
deer do you think they kill in archery?
No, but
Come
what
on.
I'm
Yeah.
getting
They're not
at is
decent. They
the,
smell like a horse.
the people that really either A, need the meat or
Yeah.
really want to go do it. There's enough of a headache to go through to get that 5th tag, and it's not unlimited. It's 5. We're talking about 5 does. How many times have you gone in the woods and seen 10 does within an hour? You know what I mean? It's not like some
yeah.
In our area,
Well, they blame it on the
Unheard of.
population, but that's another thing. Like how you say the Amish, you have to. There's only so many tags in each WMMU,
Yeah.
so once
Yeah.
those are gone, they're gone, and they sell out every
so
year
it's not
anyway.
like they're
so
going to be like above that number. So I mean,
it's
as long as
just a
that-
matter of people might shoot more than some, and then go
Yeah,
get more
but
tags. And
If they
like,
cut
that's
it
the
off
only
at 5, I would agree with it. And honestly, I've actually complained about this point in the last 2 years because there's been 1A tags sitting out there.
This is
Yeah.
the first year that they've ever sold out as early as they did this year.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
is the first time that I can remember.
Even
ever
last
over
year,
the
they sold
counters.
Last
sold
year,
out. Every
it's-
year it sells out.
yes.
It just takes
Way. It was almost
it's like almost in the
November.
rifle season.
Yeah.
Almost. I think
Like
2
insane.
years. 2
Wasn't
years
the
ago.
past, like 2 years, they started getting out more tags though.
They
yeah,
did.
they upped it 2 years
They
ago.
did.
I think.
They upped the numbers and
Yeah.
they didn't sell out for like the first year ever before opening day.
Yeah.
Right. So then
Yeah, it went
for
2
a
years ago.
while.
It went into almost rifle season. I'm
But
pretty sure.
I remember like back when like it's muzzleloader season. I need a tag and going and getting one. Like
yeah.
I remember that.
Well, there's a
Yeah.
lot more hunters now. I mean, you can just see it just on social media.
Statistically,
It seems.
our hunter numbers are going down. Now that doesn't mean that our area. I don't know about 1A, but
Yeah.
statistically, the hunter numbers down. Now, does that mean more hunters are buying antlerless tags now than they used to? Maybe, but I would say the whole argument is why I think it's a good idea is because like these biologists that supposedly know what they're doing, they come up with a number based on population of how many deer that they could realistically take
and
a
then release
percentage of
Fisher
that
Bearcats.
that would die, right?
Great idea. Thank you.
Conspiracy theory.
Coyotes. Thank you.
Anyways,
Non-indigenous.
so it's like
carnivores,
I'm
thank you.
sitting there in 1A and I double up in the first week of the season. I have no tags left, say, or I have 1 tag left, and there's 9,000 1A tags left.
Yeah.
Why can't I go out and get another tag?
Yeah,
like
no,
they're there.
I
They're
mean, I
there.
agree with
You
that.
want those deer killed, or else you
saying
would
that-
not have put that 60,000 tag number out there.
So
or
the
100%.
whatever.
best thing that could come
100%.
out of this is you get another 1A tag.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
you might get
fine with
you
me.
might get one.
Yeah.
There's not going to be enough. I don't think
they're not going
unless
to be
you
on sale that long. That's
unless
the thing.
you get your 4th and
Right.
first day you shoot a doe and you immediately run to the courthouse and buy a 5th.
Right.
Probably could have happened.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's going to be any available. I think
There won't be.
I think
There
when
won't
it
be.
goes over the counter, there's going to be lines out the door at the courthouse, and
Yeah.
you're going to have to wait
Yep.
in line like you do at Walmart for a hunting license
Right.
the day
Exactly.
before.
So that's why this proposal to me is just.
I don't.
It
think
doesn't
it's-
make any sense.
I don't think it's a statewide necessary thing.
It's not gonna help, it's not gonna hurt.
It's those couple places like 2B that has 10,000 tags.
Well,
And
2B is
there's-
unlimited though already.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean,
you
they're
could
not
buy
I'm
the
just saying,
same.
for
30.
example,
Yeah.
places like that have
but
those.
1A is
couple
not going to
things.
be 2B. You know what I mean?
No, it's
Never.
not. It's not. It's not.
Because-
That's why I don't have a problem with it because there's still that number there. That once that number's filled, it's over.
gone.
Yeah.
You
But
can't get any
in
more
your
after the
instance,
number. After the
if-
quota's done, it's done.
Yeah, if you smoke 2 the first week and it's like, well, hey, I want some more meat. There's still tags, and you're being responsible with it. Why not?
Right.
Why not?
Yeah.
To someone that, other than someone that's going to buy it, and, you know, oh God, rifle's coming. I'm going up to camp. I'm only gonna hunt 1 week this entire year. I'm gonna go buy one, not shoot anything, and just sit on this tag. You know, then you know what I mean. I would rather it go to someone that's actually gonna fill that.
Well,
tag.
that's the thing too. A lot of these areas don't have. They sell out in the first draw anyway.
I mean, how many people get D maps for areas that, you know, or send in for like 2F, where like 2F, that
2F
is
and
gone. You know,
TD
that night.
easy.
and all those areas.
XW is gone, you know, immediately. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, either way, every year that I've ever applied for any of these low count areas, they're gone. I mean, I can't go.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
The second round, I can't get one.
and how
because
many
they're
of
already
how many of those
gone.
people that get them don't fill that tag?
Probably more than half.
Probably more than half. I would think so. I mean, I don't know the.
I
exact
haven't
number.
killed a deer up the mountains since I started hunting. So that goes, and I've been. It's like 14, 15 years.
I've
now.
never killed a buck up there.
I've never killed a
I'd like
deer.
a third 1A
Shut-
just because we hunt so many 1A spots.
We do.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I mean, and I get it. I mean, I
mean, that's our
understand,
home.
but
That's-
in the
yeah,
same
that's where we
sense,
live.
like when they're gone, they're gone.
They're gone.
So
Exactly.
this proposal's,
Exactly.
it's not really
It's not
helping.
It's just
it's
going
not
to sell
helping
them
anything,
quicker.
and it's not hurting anything all at the
Right.
same time. It's just a matter of if you kill your deer and you can get another tag while they're still available,
Yeah.
then you can do it.
I think where it's going to help the state, and it all falls back on them making more money. Where it's going to help the state is those WMAs that have hunters, but they have a pretty high deer population and they don't typically sell out. And now maybe if
They
they
might
do
sell
this,
out.
they probably will sell out.
They'll sell out.
Yeah.
You know, 2B's never going to sell out. Sorry, just isn't. It's always been unlimited. It's never sold out.
Yeah,
you know,
it'll never
they give
change.
away 100,000 tags or whatever, and there's not that many hunters that go and hunt 2B.
Right. Exactly.
You know, just because there's realistically one game lands that you can access in 2B and hunt. And
Yeah.
trust me, everyone does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody at this table has.
I've never
You
been
know?
there.
No.
No,
You're not missing.
never been there.
We're going tomorrow.
me and
Potentially.
Charles went
If I wake up.
first day of the 1 year. He's like, we just walked back in the woods in the dark. And this is a year where I was just like, I'm never hunting with Charles again. It was so bad. The whole year he was just bending me over and just taking advantage of me. I was just like, dude,
Ew.
It's
first
his fault for not being
Wow.
as mobile as me.
First day,
Incest.
he goes, let's go back in the woods. I've never been here in my life.
I've been there once.
Okay, I bought some tags day before.
They do
I'm like,
keep
all
the
right.
trails very nice.
I'm like,
there, I will
let's
say.
go. Let's go, man. I'm cool. You know? So we went down, and he's just like, all right, just pick an area in here. I'm like, what? Never been here before, dude. Like,
Neither had I.
how do you
Look
scout
good
in
on
the
the map,
dark?
Yeah. Hey.
I'm flashing the flashlight up in the trees, thinking like, do I have shooting lanes? Am I gonna be blocked out by trees? What's going on here, dude? I'm trying
Ground
to scout.
and pound.
Hell yeah.
You ever
Yeah.
scout in the dark? It's so bad. And then he did it to me in the highway.
Yeah, because as soon as the sun comes up,
It
you're like, oh,
destroyed
fuck,
my
this
life.
sucks.
That's why you ground and pound.
We went back in Ohio that same year. He did the same thing to me.
You
I'm
just don't
like,
know how
wow.
to do it. Like it's a skill.
It was so
to be able
bad.
to walk into the woods randomly and pick a spot on the map and then find a good hunting area and climb a
Takes
tree
great
and have
night
lanes.
vision for that.
It is a skill, and I've done it plenty of
First, you have
times.
to find
Not
like
me.
some
I
sort of
have-
sign that
I'm
like,
really good
life
at it.
exists, and then you got to figure out if in that tree you're gonna climb up and light's gonna come out, and you're
My
just gonna be
pants
blocked in
ripped.
by branches.
Oh,
Wow.
my pants ripped.
We're at
My
an
nutsack.
hour 45. Does anybody have
Oh, God,
closing
again?
closing questions for Joe, and then we'll wrap her up here. Ryan.
I don't think I have anything. I think we touched just about everything that we wanted to.
Yeah, are we ever going to record a podcast that's not 2 hours long?
I kind of like it though.
Yeah.
I like it too.
Feels more natural.
I'm
We're
down with
we're
the
more
2 hour
drunker.
mark.
I have
Very
a I have a
Rogan-esque. I haven't
hole.
drank this whole episode.
I have a hole in my gooch area, and it's not.
Is your-
These are my favorite jeans.
Is your
Just say
grundle
kickstand.
very vented right now?
That's why I think that's why I'm so cool.
Oh God, he's
Well-
whipping the tequila out again. Look at it. So with those closing words, Joe, do you have anything?
Oh, nothing, man. I said pretty much everything. It's like I said, I'm excited about PA. PA's getting crazy. PA's starting to step up a notch,
That's it.
and it's
That's all I can
it's
take.
exciting for all of us.
all I
I
can
mean,
take.
you haven't
Yeah.
seen deer like this
No.
No.
years back,
No.
and they're starting to appear more often.
PA's the
than
new
ever.
Ohio.
PA's the new
We're
To
working
a
on it.
prosperous turkey season.
Here we go.
Hopefully.
Round 2 down the
Round two.
drain.
To a prosperous turkey season.
Cowabunga
Yeah.
Boys.
Oh, we're gonna
Thank you
kill
for
'em.
listening. Subscribe, follow, like, thumbs up, whatever podcast app you use. Cowabunga. Hit
Check
that
us
button.
out, Northern Outcast Outdoors.
Stay the course.
Stay
It's
the
a good
course.
one.
You got to make sure you put that.
You hit the wrong button.